seen God's eyes, but I've seen the devil's. He walks with man on earth at different levels. He knows the king we serve, so he hates and meddles and prays that we all burn and turn to rebels. He tried to get my soul, but I'll never settle. I walk this lonely road from the burbs to ghettos. I'll take the gift bestowed and return a vessel. I am the one they chose. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Rebellious in all ways, been sinners since birth. He knew that it would happen when he put us on this earth. We demonize religion, brought corruption to the church. We know the price of everything, but we don't know the worth. We spend all of our time idolizing false prophets. Comparison's the enemy, stop watching others' pockets. The social system's broken, we divide on every topic. They fabricate the truth and we all monetize the gossip. We know the problems and we see them but don't want to change. We're desensitized to every issue cause they let us profit off of people's pain. In this dystopian age, we are the game that he plays. And all the evil, deceitful people should shake our faith. I never seen God's eyes, but I've seen the devil's. He walks with man on earth at different levels. He knows the king we serve, so he hates and meddles and prays that we all burn and turn to rebels. He tried to get my soul, but I'll never settle. I walk this lonely road from the burbs to ghettos. I'll take the gift bestowed and return a vessel. I am the one they chose. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Our God is an awesome artist. In perilous times we seek his grace as the world and the times we face turn fake in the face of the devil's mirages. In the midst of the pain just stained in the media's push of all this garbage, I pray that you keep your faith as the whole world breaks and the real get disregarded. It's about time that we take it back. The wait's too great for the camel's back. Strong men made life an easy task, and now the weak men feminize every act. In the church, in the workplace, every class, on the television screen, in the state of rap. All virtues gone and it's faded black. We in hell on earth and it's gon' collapse. Integrity's lost, hedonism, we incentivize gods on the way the revolution will be televised. Gone too far, don't know if we can rectify. At those gates we will testify. So I'm saying it now so they counteract clockwise. We are living in times where the wicked is all rise. The intelligent fall while the stupid is all thrive. And the real get pushed aside. Yeah. I never seen God's eyes, but I've seen the devil's. He walks with man on earth at different levels. He knows the king we serve, so he hates and meddles and prays that we all burn and turn to rebels. He tried to get my soul, but I'll never settle. I walk this lonely road from the burbs to ghettos. I'll take the gift bestowed and return a vessel. I am the one they chose. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I am muted. Hold on, I gotta change my background real quick. I know I'm a little disorganized today, but bear with me, guys. Change my background. There we go. All right, so we're back, and we are on the backup channel, which is now the main channel. And I also have my sister from another mister with me, Freya, in the house. What's up, girl?
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. How you doing?
Doing good. I was trying to figure out, I'm at my in-laws' house, so I can use my laptop, but I don't have any. Anyway, I'm on my iPad, so I still can't screen share or anything, but we're all good. I'm here.
Okay. Is there any way you can turn your volume up at all?
Yeah.
Because you just sound a little bit low. I mean, I don't know if anybody else can let me know if she sounds good or not. I only have 2 people here, and we're probably people that are here.
Oh God, that's all right.
I know it's all good.
You know, is that better?
Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
Okay.
We got Curtis in the house. Well, at least at 6:30 p.m. last night, he was commenting here, and Jenny T. Murphy is in the house. What is up, girl?
Hey, Jenny.
You are first, second, and third.
Yeah, that sucks about your channel.
Yeah, yeah. It's the thing is, Freya, is that, you know, people might look at my situation and be like, well, it's got to be her fault. She's doing something. She's just not getting the rules right. Okay. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'll admit over the last 6-7 channels, of course, there's been mistakes I've made along the way where I've gotten copyright strike or, you know, hate speech or whatever like that, covering various topics, whether I talk in code or not. You know, I have made a few mistakes here along the way. So I admit those. However, there's a lot of shady stuff that takes place with YouTube. And it's because of those shady ass algorithms. Yeah. And I know that there was just a purge recently. And YouTube does do that. They do purges where they just wipe out a whole swath of channels all at once. And one of those channels that got wiped out along with mine was Brian Stapley. He had a couple of channels that got wiped out on him the other day.
Oh, man.
What I want to say about that is Brian has been down this YouTube road many, many, many times, and he knows the rules. Okay. So like he's a stickler about it. So of course he's going to try to make sure while he's doing whatever he's doing on YouTube, he's going to do it right so it doesn't get taken down. That being said, I don't know what his situation is with strikes or warnings or anything like that. And I'll talk to him about that stuff. But his channel's gone down. So I don't know what his situation was. Hey, Trisha. Trisha just got here. My channel apparently either being part of this purge or just, oh my gosh, it's a coincidence that it just happened to happen the same time they're purging.
Mm-hmm.
I did not have on this backup channel, which is the main channel now, anything going on as far as a trail of my fuck ups in order for them to say, oh, you've just been fucking up, we're taking you down. What you have to understand about YouTube is, and this is something they don't tell you in their stuff, in their guidelines and stuff, that you could have no strikes at all. And they could just decide to review your content and take you down. You'd be like, but I didn't even have any strikes. All my other strikes were gone. It doesn't matter. They'll just look at your old record, as far as where you're at now, and to try to use that as their excuse, even though they were strikes and you've gotten them off and you've been a good girl and you've been doing everything right. They still just get rid of you. So my situation was I had a strike. I don't know if you remember FREYA, but I did a Friday night live stream for CFM because he had to go somewhere. And I was only 12 minutes into that live stream and it got taken down on my main channel. Mm-hmm. I played Mama Ray's the True Seeker. It was the second song in, and then boom, they cut my live stream. Yeah, now, I've played that song numerous times in other live streams. It's never gotten taken down. So anyway, that strike came off in November because I think I got it in like September or something, October, November, it's like somewhere around there. And that was done and cleared. No other strikes. The only thing I've gotten recently was a warning. And it's not a copyright strike. It's a copyright warning. And you take this little test to make sure that you know these copyright rules. And I passed it. And the warning was supposed to come off in June. That was it. That no frequent and severe infractions of their rules on my end. There's nothing to even prove that statement, okay? And if it was any particular live stream that I do have up, they would have struck me on it or gave me 2 strikes at once or hit me 3 times all at once and then say, but no, they just come in, their little algorithm, their demon algorithm, and says, we just decided to review your content. And we feel that you have severe and frequent violations of our guidelines. Okay, great, wonderful. Now I'm fine. Anything that I had on there that I wasn't able to save or didn't get downloaded yet or whatever, it's all gone. And that's like the little videos that I make and stuff, but it is what it is. You got to dust off and get back on the horse, right?
Yeah, it's such a subjective set of rules that they can just say, we're not going to tell you what it is, but there was a bunch of them and they were severe, like how.
Yeah, and I can see if I had a bunch of them. But see, the thing is like, it's like your driver's license. If you get a ticket, you get points on your license, and then maybe 6 months, 7 months down the road, you get another ticket. Now you got more points on your license. Now you got to wait a certain amount of time to get these points off of your license, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're clear, because if not, your license could get suspended and you can't drive anymore. But yet it's still on your record, even though those points are gone now and you've paid your tickets and you've been being a good girl, not a lead foot like I am. And so then you figure, well, I'm good, right? But no, they always bring up your past record. And it's muffed up because YouTube doesn't explain it to you that way. Like, as if they're going to hold your old shit over your head, even though you've been a good girl and you've been doing, everything right or whatever. They took 2 of Brian's channels down as well.
Crazy. And he had a lot of subscribers.
Yeah, he's been through, he's probably on his 10th, 11th, 12th channel for YouTube by now. And like I said, Brian sticks to the rules as much as he can because he puts a lot of work into these channels. He's not trying to get them taken down. I'm not trying to be taken down. However, I do know that there are hacks that you can do to get YouTube channels taken down. I might not be the sharpest tool in the head, but in the shed, but I'm not the dullest one either. And I know that if you can get 20 or 30 people to report a video at the same time, that algorithm is going to pick up on that like a like a big, flashing light, and it's attracted to your channel because of that. And it goes over before it would ever even review your content and sees that it's got 20 or 30 reports on it for hate speech or whatever, inappropriate content, whatever. And it's going to just automatically take it down and give you a strike for it. And then you would have to appeal it. And then supposedly somebody for real would review your content. And then they'll either decide, yeah, it was the wrong move here, we're taking it off, which that never happens to me. Or no, we're sorry, we still see that it's valid, the strike that we gave you. Sorry about your luck. But yeah, I remember I had something going on with Rose 77, and there was a guy that was really trolling her bad, and he was saying some stuff and all this crap. His name was Tony. And I remember my channel had gotten taken down like the day after that or something. And Rose's husband was calling me saying, can you report him? Can you report that video so we can get him taken down? And I'm thinking, what's my little report going to do? But this is the way it works. And if you get a bunch of people who don't like you, or they have a gaggle of trolls behind them who work on this stuff, and you can direct them to a particular show and just keep hitting. And when you report something, you have to put in what you're reporting it for. Mm-hmm. So if you get a lot of people doing that all on a one show, and it's going to just be like that instantaneously. It's really shady shit that's going on YouTube, and I don't know who to trust anymore. And I'm so sick of living in this bubble of uncertainty with people that are. I'm a very open and honest individual, and I'm really easy to get along with and stuff. However, I do know that people act like they're my friends just to get information out of me, only to use it against me down the road. Mm-hmm. And, it sucks to have to be so guarded, but I have to be. And, it is what it is. However, this will probably be my last channel on YouTube. I think I'll probably go over to Rumble or something after this, because it's just too much for me. Too much work that goes into it. And just for them to just come along and just axe you like it's nothing. And it's crazy. Yeah, targeted individuals, Trish. Yeah, you're right. I've been targeted for a long time. People might want to say, well, you just don't follow the rules, Jen. You use clips out of shows and all this stuff. The clips that I use are under 30 minutes. So, that's not a problem. We're using them as drops. And that has never even been an issue on any of my shows, because they would have given me a strike or a warning for something used out of something particular. Like, I know I can't use History Channel or BBC and all this stuff. Like BBC, you can't even use a 1-second clip of their stuff. They will get you on it. So, in those respects, we have to be careful. But as far as me being ignorant to the rules and just doing whatever I want over here because I'm a live wire and I'm Italian and I'm from Philly, that's not it, guys. Just letting you know. Anyway, other than that, Shapu's, still taking his break, doing his thing, and I respect that. That's totally cool with me. If anybody's gotten the wrong idea that he doesn't want to do shows anymore with me, that's not the case. That's not the story, okay? He just wants to take a break from all of this, because for him, it used to be fun, and now with all this latest drama that was stirred up, it's not fun anymore. And he deals with a lot of drama over on his 2-3 Facebook pages that he has as well. They each have over 20,000 subscribers, and we do get people that come in there and act like they're interested in Meltology, and then do nothing but berate, insult, and troll people in there. And, it gets overwhelming after a while dealing with those people.
Sure. So
sometimes you just got to step back and take away. But he will be back at some point, hopefully. We talk all the time, though. So, FREYA, and last time I had you on, we were talking about the architecture of madness. We were talking about the orphans and the asylums and all this stuff. It was a fascinating show. People really enjoyed it. It had a lot of views. It's up on this channel that I'm on now, because I put everything that was on my old channel on this channel. As you can see, this channel is still here, right? Make that make sense, okay? All the live streaming I did on my last channel, Shapu uploads them all to his channel. Guess what? He's still there. So,
yeah.
Deductive reasoning and being through this cycle over and over and over again with YouTube, basically, I have a huge target on me, okay? And that's just the way it is. I can't talk about unicorns and kittens all day long. That's just not me. You know what I'm saying? I have no interest in that. So I just got to keep going with the flow. But our conversation last week, I think it was last week when we did show, maybe 2 weeks ago now.
2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and there's a lot more to dig into there. We only really covered a couple of asylums and different buildings and stuff, but there's just so much going on there. And tonight we're going to look at tonight. Listen to me. This afternoon we're going to be looking at some miscellaneous stuff. We're going to have fun tonight. There's no real set structure to the show as far as the topic goes. It's like just everything kind of across the board. Whatever you wanted to bring and talk about, or locations you want to get into. And I'm going to show some stuff. Is that your baby?
Yes, she's she's right.
Oh, so cute. We're going to show some stuff off of my Odyssey channel. I did a few channels ago. I did a series called Glimpses of the Golden Age. And it was about 3 years ago almost now. Maybe 2. But anyway, it was when I realized that the millennial reign was this 1,000 years that they were hiding from us. And once I realized that, and I went back and I started looking, well, how can we find evidence of this golden age, this time where everybody had everything and there was abundance? And I started doing a lot of investigating into gold, and the gold that's in all these amazing cathedrals and even obscure little churches. And they're actually, I mean, just amazing and heavenly. And a lot of the narratives that go along with the gold that are in these buildings doesn't even match up. So we're definitely going to take a look at those. I have 3 or 4 of them that I did on that. And I haven't showed it in a while. And I really don't put my Odyssey channel out there that much. I should. This is the one from like 3 years ago. I'll put this in the chat for you guys. And Freya, I will need for you to give me your YouTube channel again, because I wasn't subscribed on this backup channel, only on my main channel. And I can't seem to find you for some reason. Where does Pride, Jen? Yeah, I know. I got you. I do. You know, jackwagons are going to be jackwagons. Haters are going to be haters. You know, I'm not the greatest rule follower. I'll admit it. But, you know, I've been down this road plenty of times. And I've been doing really, really good with that last channel. And I did everything they wanted me to do. I jumped through all the hoops that they want. So, you know, I don't know.
Sucks. Yeah, sorry. I'll try not to have to step away. But if my daughter
okay.
starts screaming, then
it's no problem. I understand completely. It's all good. Don't feel uncomfortable about that.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so do you want me to get started first? And do you have stuff that you want to send me, or do you want me to like look stuff up while you're on here and tell me what you're interested in?
Yeah, I mean, I've got tons of stuff on my phone, but there's no. It might be too much to try to text you, but I mean, we can just talk about the general ideas, and if you want to look stuff up that way, because it ties into what you were talking about.
You know what? Can you just talk to the chat for just a second? Somebody's ringing my doorbell right now. I can't believe it. Hold on.
Let's see who's in here. I got seven people. I'm not a very good host on my own. A little quiet, I guess. Carrie, your daughter just fell asleep. Both of my kids stopped taking naps at 1 year old. I could never get them to nap. My daughter's 3 and my son's 5, but yeah, they never take naps.
Oh, look, here's my shirt. Boom, baby.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I like it. I'm going to have them do it up a little bit more on the next shirt, because this comes over to the side, so it could be up a little bit more, but I really like it.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, those letters really pop.
Yeah. And I don't know if, I don't think I showed you guys, but I'm going to have to turn my computer a little. What's up, Mess and Melt? See some people coming in here.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
okay.
Messa.
I'm going to turn my computer. I got a banner made up off of Shapu's site. Check it out, guys. Look at that.
That's awesome.
Isn't
Is it on cloth?
Huh?
Is it on cloth? It's like a tapestry?
Yeah. It's like a like a canvas cloth kind of, you know, for banners. I really like it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, I'll have the Boom Baby shirts now. If anybody's interested in those, I can get it on a regular T-shirt if guys want it. Of course, I wouldn't put the pink in it. I'll put something else. But yeah. So thank you, Messa. Yeah, his site. I was talking to him. I was like, man, I really love this because he did this whole design for the True Seeker 69 and it looking drippy and everything. And I'm like, dude, I want to get that on a banner. That would be badass. And sure enough, they had that as a selection for what you can use. And I was like, I think I paid like, I don't know, $40-$50 or something. I don't know. It's worth it though. I'll have it forever. Oh my goodness. So, let's see here. So we got Messa Melt in the house and Jenny Murphy and Carrie's here. We got 9 people watching. There's a few people not chatting.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see here. Let me get into a screen share. Take a look at some stuff over here on my Odyssey channel. All right, Freya, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're going to look at this glimpses of the golden age. And this one here, this first one's a little lengthy. Hold on. But it's good. We're just going to stop along the way. Hold on. There it is. I'm going to wait for this shit to load up. Odyssey.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, all that gold, it's crazy. If you just Google how it's made, the claim is that it's made from dead star debris, that all gold comes from dead star debris. It's like, can we have some proof of that, please? Like, that's a nice little fairy tale. I mean,
why would they say that? Listen, though, why would they say that gold is from some star somewhere that crashed into something, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you got all these other minerals on Earth that they don't say came from space, right? It's just like it's here, it's indigenous to Earth. But gold, they're telling us it's not from here, but it's someplace from outer space that doesn't exist. So that tells me, in my conclusion, and it's my opinion, that gold is from heaven.
Yeah, it's something special. It's something special. It's not growing out of the. And they also say that it was formed basically during the boom of creation. That it was like swirling with magma. Like, how is it dead? It's just. Yeah, but I agree with that. I think there's some kind of code in there as far as it's real.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that they wouldn't lie about it if there wasn't a motive to hide it for some reason, and what the importance is of this gold. Because if you noticed, why isn't it something else that's this main valuable thing? It's always gold, like the gold standard and everything. And I think that, I could be wrong about a lot of this stuff. I'm hypothesizing. I wasn't there. But this gold came from somewhere. And the narratives that they have for the gold all the way across the board, no matter what it is or where you find it, the narratives don't work. They just don't. I mean, initially when you hear it, you don't really think much of it and you move on. But when you become a critical thinker and you realize that everything they're telling us is a lie, then you start to realize their narratives don't make sense. Like, for instance, Seville Cathedral. It's got the most gold in it of any cathedral. Okay. It's one of the largest and it's one of the oldest. So if that cathedral would have melted down during an X Factor event, there would be a huge vein of gold down there and there'd be some fucking elite company mining that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so I think the cathedrals with the gold, they have 44 tons of gold in Seville Cathedral. 44 tons. Just let that sink in for a minute. And their narrative is, their words, not mine, is that they went to the New World, raped and pillaged over there, the South America and all this stuff, the Aztecs, Mayas, all this stuff, and then took all that gold back to Spain if it didn't land at the bottom of the ocean on the way back, and just threw it up on this cathedral wall. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
I know. Imagine how to haul all that gold, that would have to be multiple. It's just preposterous. Like, why would you haul tons of any material way back then? They're just trying to survive, and it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up for sure.
Okay, so this one here is San Domingo Church in Mexico, and it's not a big church at all. It's quite small. and to see this elaborate gold in it in such a small church was very unusual. And I know a lot of these places where it used to be gold, they've painted it over with fake gold as well. So it's a little hard to decipher if it's painted or not. It definitely originally had a gold, but these pictures that I've been showing on this pretty much look like it's real gold. However, we'll just go through it, and it's pretty amazing stuff. How ornate and embellished everything is just insane. And here, look at this stunning rosary chapel inside. This is a chapel inside the Santo Domingo church. So this is another angle to what we just saw in this, and this is incredible.
Yes.
I mean, look at it. And this is in Mexico. Okay.
Yeah. These people had all the time in the world, and they were passionate about this. That this wasn't an inferior civilization. That, I mean, it's just built to perfection.
Yes, exactly. And it looks like, like I've said before, for the time that these things are supposedly built and being built for the first time using, this type of ornate embellishment and stuff, like they didn't get anything wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you have no shortage of skilled labor. And apparently the skilled labor just was born with these skills. I don't know. Okay, now this outside here, this is really interesting. I always say that the domes were probably all covered with gold, silver, not silver, gold or copper domes. And a lot of them was taken down. We don't have them up anymore, but this one seems to have retained its gold, and it's functional to the church itself, to whatever this cathedral's purpose is. Just amazing.
Yeah, all that detail all the way up to the top.
Exactly.
And why? How would they get up there to put the details up there?
Yeah.
And why? I mean, it doesn't make sense according to the timeline that we've been told. I mean,
now in heaven, near-death experiences, they actually say that the buildings are covered in gold, not just the domes. And if gold comes from heaven and their buildings are covered with gold, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just glorious. Look at this. Unbelievable.
It just screams divinity.
Yeah, exactly. Look at this dome up here. It's just
God.
Next level. Here we go. This is it. This altar is almost, I mean, it's too big for them to fit it all in one picture usually. Look at how big this picture is that they have to give us, okay? And that's not even really all of it. They have to, it's hard for them to get it all in one picture.
Yeah, it goes all the way up to the vaulted ceiling.
Yes. Now, what they say is that this back piece here was all carved wood, okay? And then they brought the gold back from the old world or the new world, melted it down, and gilded this wall with it. I'd like to see that happen. Yeah, because that's just even trying to imagine them smelting gold, okay, melting it down, and then
flatten it, like they have
putting it into a situation where you could just put it up over all this wood that's carved. I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, a lot of work.
I mean, there's so much gold in that room. They have a cage up, an iron cage that they can close. People can't get to that wall. And again, you have the inlays on the floor here. We've talked about that before with the I wanted to show you this. Look at this giant book. Did you see that? Look at this crazy thing. Hold on. Just go back a little bit.
Yeah, there's tons of those giant books, like in museums. See pictures, and they're wearing the gloves, and it's like this, 4 people turning the pages of this gigantic book.
Yep. Yeah.
There's tons of those like that. Yeah.
But see, I think people were larger in the millennial reign, if you think about it. Now, these are the reliquaries that they have in Seville Cathedral. The reliquaries house parts of saints like that lived, right? Like one of them has a foot in it. One of them has different pieces of body parts. Could be a finger or something, or some hair, a cloth of a thing that they wore. But supposedly Seville Cathedral has a thorn from the Thorn of Crowns from Notre Dame. So, and it's in one of these reliquaries. And I had never learned about that because when I studied their reliquaries, which happen to be made of gold and silver as well, there was no crown of thorns that ever came up in that research. So I was surprised to hear that. But yeah, look at these things. They're just beautiful. Seville Cathedral's next level stuff. Okay, again, this is a silver one here. Contains saints' relics. Of course, when I made this video, I would have said this is the reliquary that has a thorn from Jesus's thorn of crowns.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like that. Okay, so this is St. Mark's Basilica in Venice.
Oh, yeah.
Again, looking very much like an World's Fair building here. Amazing, glorious tech on top. It's just next level crazy stuff.
Yeah, I love this St. Mark's Basilica.
Yeah. Now they have gold on the ceiling here.
Mosaics. Gold. I mean, it's like that, in these, during the millennial reign, it says that there was Christ and the saints that were rolling over and all that. Like that's what we see in all the artwork. So all the artwork is just telling that story, but yet it didn't happen. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
it looks very literal. It's very literal.
Yeah.
But again, we have someone else in our ear, the art historians and whatnot, telling us this is how you're supposed to interpret it. And it's like, maybe they were just being literal,
Exactly. And I want to point this out right here. Let's just go back a tiny bit. Go back a tiny bit. I think it's right there. Hold on. It's coming up. Maybe it's not. Maybe I passed it. I have to talk about these angels here, though. Hold on. Look at this. I'm going to pause it right there. Look at this brick wall. See it on the ceiling?
Mm-hmm.
They're depicting a brick wall here. I think that's so amazing. I don't know what the story is right here, but look, it's in there, a little artwork.
Yeah, there's tons in Matera, Italy. There's like all these caves with frescoes and stuff, in the middle of just out amongst the landscape. And
Right.
there's like frescoes, and you see the brick wall behind the saints in these caves. These caves they claim they carved and came in like 500 years later and painted these frescoes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, before we woke up to all this, we didn't even pay any attention to these narratives. I've never even really delved into a lot of this stuff. But once you're critical thinking and you're using deductive reasoning and you already know that history is a lie and they've lied about everything, you look at things differently. And that's when you start to realize things don't add up. And if you are a real truther, that would matter to you. It would make a difference in your life. Because I'm sick and tired of hearing people say, well, who cares anyway? I don't care about that. I don't care if they're lying. Don't you want to know why they're lying? There's always motive for a lie.
It's got to be a pretty big deal. I mean, This is a really big lie.
Huge.
I mean, it's maybe bigger than flat Earth. I mean, it's.
Yep.
There's something
and
big.
Once you realize they're going to lie to you about what the hell you're living on, then they're going to lie about everything. It's like you having a friend and they lied to you about something major and you found out they lied. Are you even going to believe anything they're going to tell you after that? Even if they are telling you the truth, it's just like, well, what was the motive for that lie? You're hiding something. You want me to see something a certain way with that lie.
Yeah, and with lies, they snowball. So it'll have to make sense of the previous lie. You have to have a next lie, and then a next lie, and a next lie. So
and that's where they trip up. That's right. That's where they trip up, and that's where you find, the holes in their story and stuff. They do. They get sloppy. Look at this tech right here. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, why would they need ceilings this high back then? Like, what were they doing with that space?
Exactly. Yep. Now, I remember Shapu and I, when we did one of the shows, he showed some pictures of there were paintings of, like the Virgin Mary in the church or something. She was giant in the church. Like, like she fit right in with all these high ceilings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, there's several like Byzantine paintings that are like that, where you see the whole building and it's like 4 floors or whatever. And then there's a massive door that's as tall as the building. And there's like a person sticking their head out where they're the height of the building, but there's doors all the way down the height of their body.
Right. Now, we talk about Tatarians being larger than us. We still have pictures of how much bigger they are and stuff like that. You know, why were these people larger? You know, I feel like the millennial reign had something to do with that. Maybe if we're not so deceived and kept down at this low frequency of vibration, maybe we are able to grow, and we're eating better. The environment's cleaner, you know, there's, you know, more of everything. So maybe we were able to grow larger. It's hard to say either way which way it goes, but you're not going to build all this amazing architecture and supposedly a time when it's like the dark ages, right? You don't got any equipment, nothing, no skilled labor, you would think. And you're just going to go over and above and beyond and do the most impossible stuff.
Yeah. It makes me wonder too, just the term, you know, Tartaria, you know, there's Tartarus in hell, and it's like the third level, but that's where they say that the Nephilim or whatever, the bad angels were chained. Right. And I just wonder if there's, I mean, I've got kind of a theory about why that could be. Don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Well, basically, so I think that my idea of fitting where this meltdown happened, because it doesn't tell us in the Bible how the millennial reign ended. It just has it abruptly ending. And then it has Satan's little season. There's not details on how it ended and how the little season began. So I think that because I think for all these spiritual ideas, there's like a physical explanation, a biological and physical explanation. So I think that possibly whenever Satan broke free from his chains, he kind of busted up from underneath, and it heated and maybe shocked this etheric, you know, angelic type of system, this electric system, and it shorted it. And I think that's maybe the Milky Way scar. I've talked about that before. I think it could have gotten so hot if the firmament is cold. If you put hot water on something cold, it cracks, and that would cause the waters above to come in, cool it down. Right. And then once it reached a regulated temperature, which wouldn't have taken that long, it would have refroze, but it left a scar. And so I think it could be referencing Tartarus. Like now, this millennial reign is now Tartarus, because now you have it got heated up, and you had all the angel, you know, the fallen angels and Satan bust up and cause this cataclysmic eruption to kind of take place. And so it's kind of a play on words, you know, that now it's their realm, you know. Exactly.
It makes sense that there will be a God's judgment between these two events, the millennial reign and the short season of Satan. There's a God's judgment, and there's your X factor.
Yeah.
Now, what happened prior to the millennial reign? Was it another short season back here, and then millennial reign, and then, you know, short season of Satan, God's judgment, millennial reign ends, God's judgment, another short season of Satan. I don't know how many of these have happened, but it seems to me that, you know, the millennial reign ended for whatever reason. It's time for it to end, and this is why we're seeing all these empty cities and stuff. Because, you know, Lucifer needs to go forth and deceive the nations. And the pictures that we see, there's not too many people around. So, you know, you got to build back the population. And we know we got King James Version of the Bible, and we know they left a shit ton of stuff out. I mean, just the book of Adam and Eve alone explains so much. And they left that out. Things happen so quickly in the book of Genesis, in the first chapter even, that it just, you could tell something's not there that should be there in there. So it's really important for us to listen to these other books that aren't in the Bible and check them out, like the book of Giants. That's a really interesting one as well. There's a few other different ones that I'm checking into. But of course, if you don't want somebody to know about the millennial reign, you're not going to have it in the Bible. You know what I mean? They're going to just, you know, end it. It'll just, you know, the end or whatever. And you're just like left thinking like, you know.
Shaved off all the extra bits, all the details, and just very simple.
Yeah. I don't think King James wanted us to know about the millennial reign more than anybody else did.
Yeah.
You come so I
I mean, look at the lengths that they go to hide the fact that we live under a firmament. I mean, there's people right now working at NASA thinking space is real, and they're Christians. This is all the gold and reliquary stuff that they have within this church. This is all millennial reign stuff, in my opinion. Like this giant sword back here, it's made of gold and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like too with the halos, like there could have been a physical manifestation of their like consciousness, basically this divine consciousness that like, because we know our brain is electromagnetic frequencies is what's firing, and maybe there's like super, what baby?
Yeah, the count to 20.
Okay, baby. She's wanting to play hide and seek, saying you got to count to 20.
Yeah, 20, okay?
Okay.
So these things here are silver. These boxes here. And they have stuff made out of jade and this green glass and everything. It's just really interesting. I mean, if this wasn't true and real, all this happening, why would they even go out of their way to build and ornate and have these, carvings and things of the saints and everything? It doesn't seem like people would just go out of their way to build cathedrals like this with a storyline within it, and all these reliquaries and stuff if it wasn't real.
Yeah, I mean, the explanation in art history is basically that it's just on there to teach, the stories of the Bible and to inspire people to be, to have faith, basically. But I mean, that's just what they're telling us. It's like maybe it was literal. Maybe just as impressive as these buildings were, there's more to the story that you're not telling us. You're leaving out all these chunks. And so I think they're lying about everything, even the interpretation of what this artwork means. And I think this artwork is just it's a very literal language that we all speak. It's a language, and so they're telling us don't trust your interpretation. This is our interpretation. Now I don't know if my interpretation is right, but the point is I do not trust their interpretation. Like I took art history for I went to college for 10 years and got 2 masters in art and blah blah blah, and it's all just a bunch of fancy schmancy people saying this is what it is, so everyone agrees this is what it means and this is what it is.
Yep, exactly. Now look at this, FREYA. Look at the amazing architecture and embellishments just in this scene alone, and then look at the crappy wooden pews.
Yeah.
The people, none of the people and the pews don't match what we're looking at here.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you can always spot our like little shitty lamps or our little fold out chairs, all the stuff they put in these glorious buildings.
Yeah.
Those thick columns.
I don't know. This is Black Jesus, I guess. I don't know what's going on here.
It's like the archaic pots and stuff that always had like black figures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, I can see the outside of this church. To tell you the truth, I can't prove this, but I can see that the outside of this church was probably covered with gold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been stripped in some way, which they could just say that was time, or it could be from whatever. But yeah, I doubt it was this like, monochromatic gray tones.
But
like
inside, look at the inside of it.
Yeah,
I think the outside of it was just like the inside of it here. Now let's go back a tiny bit. Look at the spiral columns, over here. And if we go back just a tiny bit more, there's the outside of it.
Yeah, it looks stripped for sure.
And you got all this beautiful, amazing stuff inside here. Go up a little bit more. Okay. I made this video, like I said, like 3 years ago or something. I did a whole series on it. I mean, I had no idea that there was gold in churches like this until I went into, researching it all. Look at this. Everywhere you look in here, it's fucking embellished with gold.
Jeez. Yeah, no big deal.
I know, right? It's
No
just,
big deal.
where'd they get all this at? It's just amazing.
Hmm.
This here, now if I pause it right here, these little slits that you see here had gems in them all. See, the gems are all out now. They were had like, amethyst and rubies and probably all kinds of stuff. Emeralds. They took those out. I love this one right here. Wait till you see this. Look at this dome. I mean, just look at that. It's gorgeous. Just gorgeous. There's so much stuff on these walls that it would take you like a week just to walk around and look at each scene and take it all in.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. It's almost shocks the senses. I think for a lot of people that don't think about this, it's just like, whoa, that's crazy and impressive and beautiful, and then that's it. It's too much to try to really decode what you're looking at. It's very overwhelming.
Yep. So beautiful.
Yeah, every inch.
I don't think Lucifer created this stuff. This is definitely for me a time when the millennial reign was happening and there was love, peace, and abundance.
Agreed.
And people wanted to create these things, and it looks like it was really no problem for them to do it at that time.
Yeah, I agree. Because I've heard the argument, I guess you could say, that these were basically before the flood of Noah, that these were during that time, but I don't think this was like a time of degeneracy,
Right.
Some really good stuff was going on in this civilization.
Absolutely.
While these were being built.
Yep.
And imagine all the ones that are, covered with gold everywhere else that we'll never see now because they're gone and destroyed or they've been stripped.
Yep, exactly.
Like these were probably just so much that it was too difficult. It would be too difficult for them to strip it all off. 40
Right.
tons of gold. It's like, just give them that one. Just let them see that one,
Absolutely. I mean, just look at this. Look at all the jewels in here. You got rubies, sapphires, probably some diamonds and stuff, amethyst. It's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. I figured I won't get a copyright strike for showing my own videos. So, and if people haven't seen some of these things that I've done in the past, maybe they're not on Odyssey or whatever. So, this was on the Truth Seeker 69 original channel that I had. And this is like my 7th channel now that we're on. It's just beautiful. Look at this thing. Okay, they're still showing that box. Let me go up here a little. All right, so we're going to go to the next one that I have. Back page. Oh. Okay, so I have to go back up here. Okay, here we are. So now we're going to go to part 2. And part 2, I focused mostly on India. Because even in the book of Adam and Eve, it says that God sent one of his angels to India to get some gold rods for Adam and Eve. Also, that when he threw the snake away from Adam and Eve, it landed in India. And again, I just want to point out that India is next level with their gold as well.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
all over everything. What we're seeing here now is most likely painted on gold paint and not the actual gold itself anymore. But they were all gold at one time, because this is tech that we're looking at here. These aren't temples. They always tell us they're temples.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the tech on these things. I mean, just look at it. Are you kidding me? Look at this.
Yeah, it's like everyone everywhere was just decorating the very tops of their spires with all these antennas and stuff. Just
Well,
for
it was a
aesthetic
thing. It was a
reasons,
thing
you
like
know?
clinker bricks. It was a style back then.
Yeah, right.
Mama!
This one's a kind of a short video. It's not real long. I'm just saying, it's just absolutely amazing how the old world must have looked. It was mirroring heaven on earth. Okay, so here we see the smaller temples around this larger temple here in the center, and it's to me it's all tech.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that these little ones here, like you could go into it and go astro travel.
Mm-hmm.
But leave your body there in that container and it's protected while you're astro traveling to wherever it is you're traveling. You see what I'm saying? That's what these either that or these little things are actually personal little Vimanas and they take off, or they did it one time. I'm kind of leaning towards you go in here and you get tuned into whatever frequency you're getting tuned into, and then you can connect with whatever you want to connect with. Like you walk into a phone booth and you call somebody, except this is astro traveling.
Exactly. It's like or like an organic, internalized, like cell phone, internet, computer, collective system that you can tap into. I tried to do that stream I tried to do with Pants on the Ground, but I didn't do it right on my end with StreamYard. Anyway, we were covering, I've got a bunch of images from tons of these Jain temples and stuff that look like it's some kind of tech that they like wore over their heads, and I think this could be related to that.
I have that, Freya. I have that saved in my favorites here. It's talking about the tech. Let me find it. Is it Jacob's Ladder? Maybe. I think this is it.
Do a different one. There you go.
Now this site, I'll share it with you guys, but they really don't like me sharing this with you guys. I know that for a fact. And this talks about the tech and how it works here that we're seeing on the pagodas and the temples and stuff. This thing right here is the same as what we just were looking at over here, right? Okay, so let's go back over here. But this one right here is on the ground. It's not on top of a building. And this is what we would see like in our cemeteries. This is the same size as like a headstone monument kind of thing. That's where I say that cemeteries are where tech goes to die.
Yeah.
Here's where they show how the plane works in this different levels of heaven in our firmament here. And look at what they show underneath of us. Now we talked about the 9 circles of hell. See that? 8 hot hells, 8 cold hells. Okay, that's what I was talking about here. But yet, see, they're circles, right? And what it also looks like is a Tesla coil, a DJed column. Yeah. But we're going to get into scrolling down here. It shows you the tech and how it was being used and tells you all about it. I've read it before. Now, see, here's the DJed. This is what we just saw above, underneath the earth. DJed column, which is just like a Tesla tower. But if you go all the way down here to the bottom of the site, it's lengthy. I will definitely give it to you guys because I've learned a lot from this site and I've shared it numerous times. Talked all about frequencies and all this stuff here. But it has the tech that they wore on their heads down here. And it was also gold. Okay, we're getting to it here in just a second. It's been so long. Oh, here it is. Look, see?
Yeah.
This right here? This is it right here, Freya. Look.
Yeah.
Look at that.
In those cards, yeah, you'll see this, but there's also, and actually Chapu showed one, it was like it looked like it was from basically classical art. It looked like marble, but it looked identical to the ones we see in these Jain and Hindu temples. But it's not only the hat; it's like almost like a hair at the hairdresser, the thing that flips down. You know, that you put the heat. It looks like they're carved everywhere. Like once I saw them, I was like, they're everywhere at these Jain and Hindu temples, but they're all elaborate. And on the underside, you can see all this like detailing that doesn't make sense for decoration. It looks like tech.
Yeah, these ones here are different too, like kind of like what you're talking about. Again, you see here in this temple, you have this with the concentric conical rings going up. You can see it over here on these smaller ones. These were tech. And you can see here how they're showing you what's happening here, which is called stacking plasma energy. That's what they call it. Again, here, and this person was right on par with what I was saying back then. This is a Tesla tower made in Russia right here. And this is a pagoda that they say is a temple. Yeah. So I don't know. Okay, so here, if I show you real quick, here's the Tesla towers, right? 10 stories tall. If you had them around, right, anything in between these two towers would be in the field of free energy, and your stuff would work. Wow. Again, here you have a Tesla tower that's in Russia, and over here you have a pagoda with its gold tech still on top. This is not a high-rise apartment, and it is not a temple. It is a free energy device on the grid system. This building has functionality. It's not for praising whatever God you're going into. Talk to or whatever.
Yep.
And again, here, these look just like what you see in cemeteries, monuments and stuff. You can see that they even have plaques on them, but there's nothing there. And guess what, guys? They're all made of brick, and they have the tech on top. Because brick stores energy. So you would want your and if it's covered with some other kind of casing stones and gold or whatever, it's all working in tandem. They're all, and it's really simple. The things that you need to put this stuff together for it to work. So as you can see here, we're India stuff again here. I'm going to share this site with you guys so you can study it for yourselves. Get a better understanding if you're not, up on the tech and everything. So you got 12 people here. Woo woo. All right, let me get back over here to the golden age. Okay. And so yeah, this is basically just India stuff here that I was showing. Just kind of hopping around to make sure everybody sees, it's everywhere. It's not just in our cathedrals. Okay, so let me close that out, and we'll go up here to the next one, which is this one here, part 3. This is only 1 minute and 59 seconds. This is pretty interesting, this one. Gold, gold, everywhere gold. Look at this place, man. It's gorgeous. Done in the Baroque style, completely ornate and embellished out. But yeah, it's Baroque. It don't work anymore. It does not retain the same functionality as it had during the millennial reign. It is Baroque. It don't work anymore. Look at this. I mean, wow. Just wow.
It's like they happen to make art that depicts like saints and divine beings living here, and then they just happen to make this building look so incredibly impossible. Yeah.
I mean, you need skilled labor to do this. Skilled artisan labor to do this.
Yes.
Was there like skilled artisan labor schools that people went to learn these crafts, to come in here and do this? Because you can't just have any Joe Schmo off the street come in and work on this stuff.
And I would also argue you can't just go to school and know how to do it. In college, and I was going to art school, there were so many people in my class that did all this crap, pop art and just really silly stuff that anybody could do. But they got the same degrees that I did, because they went through the motions or whatever. But the point is, you can send someone to school for years and years and years, like to play guitar, be a badass artist, badass musician, or a writer. And either you got it or you don't, basically. you know.
Right. Yeah.
It can be amplified and kind of, you know, helped along the way, but yeah, and some regular Joe Schmo can't just go to school and be able to make this type of artwork.
Yeah, it's next level. And it's not like they say that, you know, the people built it. You know, they don't say that the priests did this or anything, or you don't even get any definitive details on the workers and stuff. You know, they'll say how long it took to build, which is a lie, whatever their lie is. But they never really get too far into explaining it, you know? Kind of just leave it. Just leave it.
Yeah, or it'll all be attributed to one architect or whoever the authority was, whether it's a king or whatever, and that they commissioned for this to take place. And it's like that still doesn't tell us who or how this would have been accomplished, this kind of artwork, these kind of structures.
This one. That's good.
Okay, I'm going to pause this right here. Chambord is one of my favorite places, guys. I did a thing on palatial estates in France and in England. The palatial estates that are in France are just unfucking believable, okay? And they tell us that these things were done in, you know, 1400s, 1500s. This is like right around the end of the Dark Age, supposedly, or whatever. Dark Age, right? And they'll give you some weird narrative, like this is a hunting palace for one of the kings, and they only came here a few times, but, you know, there it is. Chambord is next level. It's sitting on a man-made platform with canals going all the way around it, which are man-made as well. And it just boggles the mind that, you know, what they give us as their narrative, people did this. Regular peasant people built this place. To me, the whole town could live in this building. This is your town right here. This is it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's the man-made canal coming straight down there, that causeway. I think this was probably all covered in gold as well, or at least embellished in it, but not maybe completely covered. But definitely there was gold on the outside.
Yeah, definitely wasn't this plain, this like monochromatic kind of all just this stone color.
Yeah,
sure
exactly.
It was embellished.
It's not more the kind of like
that spiral staircase right there. This right here,
yeah.
The centerpiece, is supposedly been done from Leonardo da Vinci. Worked on this. Is their narrative, you know? I'm just saying. But this centerpiece here has a beautiful spiral marble staircase in it. It's just unbelievable.
Gorgeous. Ugh.
1500s, guys. Look at this place. Are you kidding me? This building is a building that's meant to last for thousands of years, and it already has since the 1500s. It's been lasting. So this is not a short season of Satan building. This platform that it sits on is all man-made. Okay, let that sink in.
It's like they built the ground to put the structure on. Like the ground itself is constructed.
We wouldn't even build something like this today. God only knows how long it would take them to build it.
Yeah.
And lawns and gardens. They want us to think that these are just beautiful, fancy gardens that they had, you know, because they can, right? No, I think if the whole town lived in here, your gardens would be where your vegetables and your fruits are growing. You know, these lawns and stuff. I think, you know, they just do the lawns this way and stuff. Take out the narrative that there was any vegetation growing there as far as food and stuff.
I do think, though, it was all very manicured like this. I mean, even looking at a bunch of the old.
Oh, yeah, definitely manicured.
Yeah, I mean, you look at like the Byzantine or any, I'm just keep bringing up Byzantine. So I was like looking into that recently. But all these, whenever you see landscape, even within these structures, and you see them sitting around with their flowing gowns, the landscape is, it never looks like the woods behind, you know, this ranch I live on. It's very manicured and very intentional. All the landscape always is.
And I also want to point out on this drone footage part here, Chambord is out in the middle of nowhere by itself. So there's that. You know what I mean? It's not like there's a whole town around it. I think this was the town. But yeah, as you can see, there's nothing around it.
Yeah, and hauling all the shit there in the 1500s in the middle of nowhere. Like, where was it? You know, where was the closest place it was even bringing the supplies?
So you come down, you come down this causeway that had to be built, okay? Because it's man-made right there. Come up this way. come around here on your boat, and then go down this little narrow thing right here and get off and then go in. See, there's no roads that lead up to this thing.
Yeah.
I would love to go here and check this out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love Chambord. It's just beautiful. And their narrative, like I said, it was, I forget which king it was, but they only came here like, it was like a hunting lodge. That's a hunting lodge. Okay.
Yeah.
360 fireplaces for this. And again, the fireplaces in here. Okay. You would have to be cutting down a lot of the forest to heat this place all winter.
Yeah.
Okay. Every winter.
Exactly.
Here's the spiral staircase, excuse me, which goes up into this thing.
Ugh, it's incredible.
Yeah, I could see that covered in gold for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just crazy. I mean, it would take you all day to visit this place, walk around it and go in it, all over it and stuff. I mean,
Weeks.
see, now here there's some houses in the background over there on the back side of the building. I mean, it'll come up in just a second. But these are newer houses. Hold on. You'll see it in just
All
a
those
second.
towers.
Maybe not. Hold on. Is it here? Yeah. See here? See this a couple of little houses here?
Mm-hmm.
These are just modern new stuff. You know, people live around here and stuff. This isn't like old world stuff. But yeah, so there was that. And let me close this out and go over here real quick. Let's see what I got. Oh, this thing here. Towers to the domes.
Is that the Blue Mosque or the
I
Sophia?
want to be the puzzle.
Yeah.
I want to be the puzzle.
I don't know if this video is going to load.
Monday.
Okay, hold on, baby. I'll get it for you.
You're good. Oh, here we go. I made this video like 3-4 years ago as well.
Hold on.
Okay.
And like, you know, these mosques and stuff, these are 2 Tesla towers on either side. You got the domes. This is tech. This is a component on the grid system. I don't think it's what they tell us, you know, for worship and all this stuff like that. I mean, this place is next level as well. And these are all, you know, 12th centuries things. Maybe even earlier than that. For this one, I think it might be maybe 1200, something like that. I mean, just look at this. This is crazy. It's unbelievable. Let me just go up a little bit here in the video. Okay, this is the Hague, I think. I know that's the inside of that. Again, very ornate on the inside, very embellished. Yeah, this is the Hague right here, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 500 AD. They supposedly made this building. 500 in the 500s. They made this.
Yeah, during the Dark Ages, this is supposed to be Byzantine.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And they say the minarets were added later, like much later.
And like, how do we even really know if that's true? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
look like they were put up at the same time. They look
Exactly.
like the same material. They look the same age to me.
Well, just tell them it was built in stages.
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah.
Exactly.
They make the story all messy. Well, they added this, and this burnt down, and they rebuilt this, and then these people. It goes on and on. This very complicated, messy story because we're just like, how would they build that? And it's like, well, let me tell you. And it's this whole long, you know, messy, dramatic story.
Yeah, and here it looks like it's sunk in the ground a little. See, this is weird here how it looks.
Where are we going?
Let me go back a little bit more. Yeah, see here? It looks like it's sunk into the ground. This back part's, it's like mud flood looking right here, you know? Like, what do you need a huge courtyard like that for? I mean, that's crazy. These domes probably had gold on them as well. Like this one here has gold on the domes. It still has this gold up there. Let's go back just a tiny bit. Okay, good. Yeah, there's the boats in it. This is crazy. This is a man-made boat here. Stationary boat. Look at this, guys. Just look at this boat right here. Right here. It's crazy, right? It's cool. And the gold on the domes. It's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
For you.
You like that?
And the play with the water, the way it reflects, it's kind of like the like you were saying, it's almost like a trying to replicate the heavens above. You know, it's like a mirror as above, so below type of thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do this one. Do this one. Do one.
Which these kind of structures are what everyone, if you Google millennial reign, like you'll find images like this. Everyone automatically, if you ask someone to envision it and describe it to you, they're going to describe all these old world structures. Like that's what everyone thinks of.
Okay. This is
Okay.
the way.
The one that's coming up next is a modern one. This one here. This is called the glass or the crystal mosque. Look at this thing.
Do you want to do it together? Do it together?
This thing looks like tech all day long for sure. I mean, especially when you see the above looking down at it. It's just crazy looking. Like this, look at it. That's a component on the grid system right there. Something was right here. It's gone. This column right here. This should be something right here on this star, but there's not. That's weird.
Where is this built? You said this is modern?
One, okay?
Yeah, they said, that's their narrative that this is a more modern one. It's called the Crystal Mosque. I think it's in Pakistan, somewhere over there.
The Crystal Mosque.
Crystal Mosque, yes.
Look, can you draw that?
Oh,
See,
yeah.
you can see that there's a spot here, a spot here, a spot here, and one down here. All these other ones have columns sitting on them, but these ones don't. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it was 5, 6, 7, 8. There would have been 8 going all the way around.
Yeah.
And this is the Dome of the Rock here, I think, which of course has gold on it. This is inside it. Here we go.
Yeah, a lot of these mosques, they don't have, they rarely have like figures in them. It's more just decorative designs.
Yeah, and they don't have pews neither. They all come in and sit on the floor.
Yeah.
Can you help me with this up?
And these like,
these look like components on the grid system. Like this is a computer board. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say these minarets, it's just like a, you know, their style of aspire. But that's where they go up and do the prayers every day. And so they say that they were built that high up so that somebody could go up there and scream out to the public, you know, the prayers that they do, I think 5 times a day or whatever.
A person with no microphones going all the way up in this tower and yelling out prayers.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what they say.
Look at think that now that's a newer building, of course. This is newer, but I think that they're still using the old world technology in their new stuff. And that's it for that one. All right, let me oh, hold on, there's this one too. Let's see here if this will play for me. How many people do we have, Freya? Can you see how many people's in the chat? Hold on, let me check.
Looks like 15.
Oh, cool. All right, good.
Here we go. Yes, yes. Yes, yeah. Can I poke you with this?
Can you poke me with it?
Yeah.
All right, check this out, Freya. On the side of a cliff, there's this. Because this is what's left of this building. Everything else is gone and melted away. But I don't think people are just going to climb up on these cliffs and build brick walls. Look at this.
Oh,
Can I say hi to her?
you can say hi.
Hi.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm doing great.
I'm doing
Aw.
great. Yeah, why would they ever? I mean, I wonder what the explanation
I like
is.
the Peppa Pig.
I don't know, but look, there it is. I mean, just sitting up there, all muffed up. Melted building.
I want the Peppa Pig.
It's just so out of place sitting up there.
Yeah, that's the kind of site that the archaeologists just be like, oh, I don't know, come up with some ridiculous.
It was a
narrative.
fort. It was to protect people from some shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it was to stand up there so they could see out and make sure they could be safe from the invaders.
I call it. I call.
Yeah, but that's the only narrative they can give it at that point. It has to be for defensive purposes. Why else would they come up here and do this? It has to be something important for them to come all the way up here and do this on this precarious spot, right? So they say it was, for strategic purposes, for, fort or whatever.
I'm going home.
They always have to say that they're fortified and stuff because they have the thick walls too. They're up high. They're impossible builds. The thick walls.
I'm ready to go home.
So this volcano is, I don't know if it's active or not. It doesn't look like it, but it's in China and it's covered in foliage and it's the same as Vesuvius. Looks like there's some structure in here in the center part right here. I can't really make it out, but it looks structured right there. There's some people standing here. Okay, so that was that one. And I have, I think, one or two more other. Let me see here. Guys, if you haven't seen my Mauna Loa video, the first one I did, 3 years ago, okay? I've been covering Mauna Loa for years now. This is a really good video to watch here. It's my first one that I did. But I have this one here, which is crazy black and white photos from China in the 1800s. And I'm going to skim through this video so we can talk about some of this stuff from China. If I can get it to work. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Oh, what is this? What the hell just came up here? Oh, all right, hold on. Odyssey's a little slow today. I don't know why. Get it to go. Oh, this isn't my site. This is somebody else's. How did they get to this? Okay. Make it make sense. Oh my gosh. What is this thing doing? All right, I gotta scroll back up to it. It's being a pain in the ass. Okay. Hopefully this works, guys. I don't know. Why it's taking so long to load? Okay. Well, I'll check the chat real quick. Chainsaw's here. What's up, Chainsaw? Welcome. I'm glad you were up to the backup channel. Chainsaw's been with me for a while too. He knows I've had many channels. He might not be around all the time to chat and stuff.
Yeah, and I was just seeing a comment he wrote about my I'll be homeschooling.
Very good, Freya. Very good. Yeah. I mean, at this point, you have to, because if you don't, you're just going to have to have your kids come home and deprogram everything that's been programmed into them, and they'll be confused, and they'll ask questions in school that's going to get them in trouble.
Yeah.
They're thinking outside the box of the mainstream narrative that they're being taught, and they can't have that.
Yeah. It's a mess. I mean, I'm in a small town, and I know so many other parents are like, well, we're in a small town, so it's not that bad. And it's like, they just don't see the depth of it, Yeah.
All right, let me pull this up a little here. See if I can get it working. Huh.
I know. Seems like Odyssey always is kind of slow to play. It's not as fast as YouTube.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I know this one here is a cathedral in China. Okay. What's that doing there? All right. There's that. But if the millennial reign was worldwide, I would expect to see this there in China. So, let's see what else I got here. Oh yeah. Let me back it up a little. All right. So here they're talking about this Christian looking church here, in China, and they're going to church and stuff. If I can get this thing to work. Okay, there's that one.
Mommy.
Okay, this one was really interesting. Coming up here, let me make this a little bigger. I want you to take note of the debris that's up inside this thing right here, all through here. It looks like somebody threw in here a bunch of chairs or something. I don't even know. This is brick. All under here is brick. You can see this through the wall here. And it's been heat damaged, because I don't think they would build this amazing thing like this. And there's a bunch of stuff up in here. It's like they just are finding these things after the X Factor. And they try to say that there was a war in the 1800s in China, and that's why a lot of this stuff looks the way it looks. But I don't know about that. Again, you can see these huge columns with a snake of some sort wrapping around it, coming down.
Crazy. And it's like all the different styles, the different regional styles. It's like they just had different aesthetics. It's the same kind of forms where you have to have columns and you have to have like a tower and, all these different elements. But their artistic aesthetics were different. And I think the skill sets were slightly different too. But they're all equally impressive.
Absolutely. I agree.
Because that's another way that they can separate it, out and draw out this timeline with all these different empires here and there and there and there. But I think it was all at one time.
So this is another temple in China. It's not a temple. I don't care what they say and what narrative they have. This is not a temple. Okay, this is a component on the grid system, and the tech on top is indicative of what we see for the stacking plasma energy here. The conical looking tower things here, and this is the center one, so it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4 with the center one in the middle here. There's no windows on this thing at all. There's a little hole out here. I don't know what that is. They must have took something off, and huge doorways as well, and a very well established trees. Okay, look, just look at how small the people
Little
are.
people, yeah.
You see these people? You think these people built this? First off, you got shit over here that's all muffed up and sideways on the ground and stuff. They're finding this thing is what they're doing. And scratching your heads like, what?
Yep. And that's where the authorities come in. UNESCO and the rest of it. Oh, I'll tell you what you're looking at.
The new narrative. Now, this is one of my favorites right here, guys. This is a some type of temple thing here, supposedly that they found. You know, let me see if I can scroll in on this. I don't know if I can with it like this. But if you look back here, you can see that same type of design on the top, right? But their tech has the donut on it up here. And this is the same as the Tesla tower, like the round Tesla tower that I was showing you guys with next to the pagoda on the beginning of the stream here. This is tech all day long, and it's always the same. And the functionality is always the same. And you just find it everywhere in China. It's in their early stuff. It's crazy. Again, here, another temple. Look at this thing. Look at this tech on top of this thing. Identical to what we see for the pagodas and even on, you know, churches and stuff. Again, the way it goes up into a cone-like structure. This is why they do this, is because it's stacking the plasma energy. That's why they have it always like this, looking like a conical cone. That one's one of my favorite pictures right there. That one and the last one. Oh, this here is an old temple that they found as well. When you look at it, like the steps and everything coming in, because there's no people around in none of these photos either, by the way. You can tell just by this picture, there's grass growing through the cracks, okay? There's grass growing through the cracks up here on the steps and everything. It's got that look to it like it's kind of wore out looking already, even though it's black and white. This tells me that nobody's here maintaining this thing.
Exactly, yeah.
You wouldn't have grass growing out of this stuff. They're very meticulous about keeping their temples perfect, you know, as far as what we can tell with the current era, if you will. But when you look back at this stuff, it looks like it's been abandoned for a while, and they're coming back and finding it and cleaning it up.
Exactly. Yeah. It's clear. It's no one's been walking around there. It just looks like it's been sitting on its own with nature. And there's tons of like, well, there's tons of castles that you find prints in old photos, like Goodrich Castle in the UK. There's tons of old pictures, and it's completely overgrown. They didn't even know what it looked like actually until they started removing all the foliage and stuff. And it's like, how would it, you know, this badass castle, suddenly everyone just up and goes and moves away and forgets, you know, why it's there, what it's there for. And then it gets consumed by the plants. Like what happened in between there? Obviously there was no people.
Yeah.
They're not going to, yeah.
This one right here, they got the muddy roads, right? These people got their little horse and cart, right? There's no people around. They got animals strolling around doing whatever. This place looks like it's just been sitting here. And, you know, there's no people. They got these amazing food dogs right here out front of this place, but you can't figure out your roads. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. You got to make it make sense. And they look like they're old already, like this outer plaster or whatever they have over the facading's wearing off over here and stuff. It's just, it doesn't make sense. The people that we do see strolling around don't make sense to the architecture that we're seeing as well. Look, just pause it right there. There's trees and stuff growing out of these cracks over here. See, it's just like a bush growing out here. This right here as well. Okay, this is another one. It's some, it looks like bridges that go across this lake or something, but they're all old and muffed up looking. Like they've been abandoned.
Yeah.
Okay, now this one's a good one too. Take note of the ground. It's all made of brick. You can see the bricks, but yet there's grass and stuff growing all through it. That tells you that nobody's been here walking around. There's been no foot traffic. Nobody's maintaining it. And then you have these huge metal cauldrons here lined up. And down here you have steps going up to like nothing. What's there? Nothing. They're just going up to nothing.
Crazy. Those cauldrons are crazy.
Yeah, they're really big too.
They're like lace pattern or something.
Yeah. Again, same with this place on the other side of it. You can see the ground looks muffed up. It's not well maintained. It's got that patina on it. See this dirt mark on the white here? This is like from like weathering gets that, right? So this thing's been here for a while. Doesn't look like it's been in any kind of use. Let's see what happens here. Go up a little bit. Okay, this is a good one here. This is another part of the same area that we were just in with the last picture. I want you to take note. The foliage here where the people are standing, okay, this is all overgrown here. And then as you look up the steps, well, clearly nobody's been using these steps because there's foliage growing over the steps. The whole thing, let me go back just a tiny bit. Pull this back a little bit. A little bit more. Okay, let me back it up just a little bit more. A little bit more. Because you see the whole temple here in just a second, I think. Just let me let that play out. Because the top of it has some, like, grass growing on the top of it. Yeah. It's like, how does that work?
I wonder what those are used for. Those cauldrons, like, I think in modern day you'd like burn a little fire in it or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we would assume that it's for. I mean, maybe that is what it's for. I don't even know, but they had a lot of them, and I don't know what they were doing with these things. Okay, apparently I don't show the roof, but see this level here, there's another tier here and then another one up top here, and that's where you see like the grass growing out of it and stuff. I thought I showed the whole picture. And then you got things like this. You got these guys here, they look like monks or something, you know, like Tibetan monks. And you got all this glorious ornate fountain like structure here and all this. These guys did not build this stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Those hats. Gee.
Yeah, the hats are crazy, right?
It's like a rooster.
Okay, this would be tech right here as well. This thing here. This would be like something that would wind up in a graveyard.
You got all the little nodes on the roof.
Yeah, look at the roof too. It's all muffed up. See, the roof looks like it's been wore out, you know?
Aged, yeah.
They just found this shit. They're like, all right, here we are.
Yeah.
Take a picture. What are we going to name this place? Okay, these are the new arrivals. Okay, here we got a whole group of people. You know, they just arrived, and here we are. We're taking over.
Yep.
Again, more tech here as well. Or it's a fountain of some sort. I'm not sure, but again, look at the ground. Okay, the ground's all built out. You got these amazing food dogs here holding the ball, which is the flower of life. And that is a whole decode in itself. I mean, I'm not going to get into that right now. But again, I don't think people like this built this place. That's just my opinion. See, some of the bricks are out of the ground right here. I mean, they would not let their temples and stuff go, you know, to waste like this. They would maintain them. Something happened here. And it's not because they're really old. Again, here, you have two people just lollygagging around here to this thing here. It's like they just found it, you know?
Yeah.
There's one sitting on the steps and one sitting here and one here. It's just and a guy over here. These people didn't build this place. Look how muffed up it is. On the
Yeah,
ground.
they're just like, now what? What do we do here? They're sitting.
Exactly.
Yeah, and look at that's all messed up. The bottom part of that stage area before you get to the steps.
Yeah. Again, this is another part of the Great Wall of China, which is all made of brick, by the way. The whole thing is made of brick. And you see where this road, this Great Wall of China goes over, and it's 7,000 miles long. How did they carry all the mortar across all this stuff? How did they bring the water in to mix the mortar to bring it all along all this stuff? And it's not level. None of it's level. You're going up and down and over things, right? Just, how do you make sense of that? I don't even know.
Yeah, it's on a steep, the whole thing is up high, built on top of like a ridge.
Yes. Okay. I let this, I backed it up for a second. It's got to catch up again. But what you're going to see here is these little sized monuments that, they say that they're just whatever, but they're clearly tech, and they're the same size and type of things that we would see in our cemeteries today. This stuff here. And if you look at a mercury arc valve, they're just like these things. They're about 11 to 15 feet tall, and they have the same kind of tech going on as you see these things. Like this right here. This looks like a mini pagoda, right? Like the one we saw earlier on the Jacob's Ladder site that I just put out in the chat. And we've had it, side by side with a Tesla tower. So if they're trying to tell us a pagoda is a temple, why are they building this thing that's like 11 to 15 feet tall that looks just like the pagoda? It's because this is tech, just like the pagoda is tech. And these would have wound up, if they're, in our cemeteries, we have the ones that look like a triangle kind of, and then it's got a ball on top, or we'll have the obelisks, or we'll have something that's like a monument that's just plain and has a plaque slapped on it. Here you can see that there's brick under this thing right here. You can make out a couple of bricks. So that's what's underneath all this outer stuff. 1 second here. Getting this shit to load up. Okay, so here we have 2 pagodas, right? And some regular little houses around it. So why do you need these 2 pagodas right here? What's the purpose of that? You know what I mean? And then you see the windows going up. Oh, well, maybe people lived in them. Maybe these are apartments. No, they're not high-rise apartments, and they are not temples for sure. These are components in the grid system, and this area would have had free energy due to these 2 towers.
Yeah, that makes more sense than the official narratives, Yeah. Like it fits the other puzzle pieces that we see everywhere else.
Yep, absolutely. You got to make it make sense. And when I studied this stuff and I was putting it together, because I already knew what they were, but I didn't have any way to prove my point. And when I started researching a lot of stuff, I came across the Jacob's Ladder website, which confirmed everything that it's not like I got the site and read it and then went back over and said that this is what these were. So I was already putting the pieces together. But I need to figure out a way how to bring the proof to the table of what I'm seeing and saying. Yeah. It is my opinion that this is what this is. But now I have this site over here that proves what I'm already saying over here. Boom, baby.
Yep. That's right.
And you realize that when you're in line with truth and you start to work it out, that, you're right. and you're, if you're able to find proof to corroborate what you're saying, that's even better. This again is at the top of one of these pagodas. Amazing tech on top. You can see it here. It's with the rings stacking plasma energy coming from the ether. It's very ornate and embellished.
Man. Yeah, so it's definitely electrical. This doesn't look like some decorative addition.
Okay, now this one here, I love this one. Let me go back a tiny bit here. Sorry. Tiny bit more back. Okay, it's coming up, Rob. Very intriguing stuff going on here. I must be talking or something at this point, but if I scroll forward, I'm going to miss.
Yeah.
the section that I want to show you guys. Alrighty.
All the detailing too.
Yeah,
All
this
the way
is
up
very
there.
ornate, very
Mhm.
embellished, this one. All right, now we go to this. Now this one right here, these guys look like they just walked up and found this thing, okay? They're posing in front of it. Again, this is not a temple. It's definitely a function on the grid system for the free energy grid system, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Okay, so here we see, coming up here in just a second, we start to see the J's, okay? Like J623,
Mhm.
Anno in the year of. Oh, there was one just behind it there, maybe. Let me go back a tiny bit. Also, here on this one, you can see the J769. So if the millennial reign started in 500, that's when we start seeing the J's come in, up all the way until the 1500s, and then they start getting rid of the J's, and we have the I, and then it goes to the 1. This one here, J648. I think this one is what you find at the Palace of Versailles. Again, here's another marker. I think this one might be, it's in a city somewhere in some old cemetery. Again, it's clear J 794. This is the year of 794, not 1794, 794, which would put you right in the middle of the millennial reign.
Mhm.
Go forward a little bit. It's this one. Something I picked up here. It says free classes for children, right? Free classes. Of course it's free because they want to give you a fake freaking narrative and then they'll give it to you for free.
Mhm. Yeah.
Space camp for kids. Yeah, because, you got to get that anchor narrative in them.
Yeah.
All righty. Let's do for that one. Okay. And this is the Myra tombs in
Mhm.
Greece. Now, this probably was high-rise apartments. I don't think they're tombs. And you can clearly see it's melted as fuck. Everything's
Yeah.
just running over and dripping over everything.
Mhm. Is that like crust that we see on so many of these, like this exterior
Yeah.
kind of crust
It's
look?
just like Petra. What you're seeing here is identical to Petra. You got warped out windows and stuff.
Mhm.
I don't think they carved it warped out.
Mm-mm.
I don't think it's that old that anything would make it look like this through generalized weathering and erosion. This is heat damage. This is superheated and melted and then solidified at some point. If it would have kept going, you wouldn't even know that these buildings are here. It would have just been rock curtained over itself.
Looks just like what we see in Turkey. That Telos, it's got a lot of different names.
Yes,
The Laura
absolutely.
Caves. Yeah, all of
Yeah.
those. And
I
they'll say
love.
it's like, go ahead.
No, yeah, go ahead. You're finished.
I was just gonna say the this blackened effect. I don't think on this one they a lot of times they'll say it's that desert varnish,
Yeah,
But this is like it's like sliding, like the cake icing sliding over
right. Yeah,
the internals. Look at that, just blobbing over.
it's interesting. There's no bodies ever found in any of these tombs. It's just like,
Yeah.
where's the body?
Exactly.
See the gray matter here dripping over everything coming down and stuff. It's just so obvious now. I don't know how we never saw it before.
I know it.
Let me go up a little bit further here. I think I'm just going to wait on this one here. All right, let me see if there's anything else I wanted to show you over here on this channel. So much stuff that I can't show you. I did a whole live stream on India or Thailand, red brick. All of their monuments over there are brick. Even if you see an elephant, underneath the elephant's exterior is brick.
Mhm.
I've shown melted elephants before. But yeah, all of their temples, when the facading's off and everything, it's all brick everywhere. And let me see here. So Herodium, we'll watch that one real quick. I haven't covered it in a while, but Herodium is all man-made. And it was forgotten about for quite some time. And people just thought it was a regular old hill. But yeah, no, the whole thing's building. As soon as they start digging into the side of the hill, guess what? Structure! Here it is. I love Herodium. And again, it's very volcano looking as well. I mean, if this thing was covered and they did a little concoction and dropped it in here, you would think you have a volcano. Might think, oh well, come on, Jen. They just built it in the side of this hill. No, the whole hill is the building. The whole hill, not just some of it, not just a little bit of it. All of it is man-made, and it's admitted. And then there's Vesuvius, and it's identical to what you see with Herodium, except Herodium isn't quite as big as Vesuvius. But again, here you can see the whole thing is structure. Just incredible. They say King Herod had this built, and his tomb is supposedly here. Going around the rim of Vesuvius here. So you can see that Herodium is one of the largest hills in the area here. You can see everything all around it. So this was quite a feat to build this thing. Okay, how large it is, and supposedly its time frame.
Here.
Okay, so that's it for that one. Now let me come over here and come off the screen share for a minute and see what's going on. Oh, what's up, Shampoo? Hi, I love you. Oh, welcome everybody. We've got 25 people here now. Shampoo did send me something that I want to show you guys. I have to get it up first though, so let me get into my Facebook messages and send that out to you. Send it over to my thing here and take a look at it. Scroll up here. Oh, where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay, all right, we're gonna look at this sucker. Where do you see this? Shampoo, you find the best stuff. You know it. All right, let me get this ready here. Close this out and get it set up. All right, let me just pause it there. Come back into a screen share. Okay, so if you think that we're crazy for saying mountains are melted buildings or that mountains are even buildings, period, okay, wait till you see this. That's all I gotta say. All right, here we go. All right, guys. Can you see this, Freya?
Yes.
Okay, look at this. Just look at this right here, right now, what we're looking at. And then I'm going to play the video. Just let that sink in, what we're looking at, okay?
Like they just
All right, here we
spread
go.
the earth over this.
Yeah, yeah. So even right now in modern times, they are making a mountain of a building. Okay, so let me just go let it play again here real quick. This is crazy, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Like, are they going to make these internals into a building, like
Yeah.
into a mall or something? So
Something,
it looks
yeah.
like a mountain, but you go
Yeah.
in
And you know where else they did this? They did something very similar to this, but they built a mall that looks like a volcano in Italy. It's crazy, but I'll show you guys that in a second here. Let me go to my new tab, see if I can find
yeah,
it.
I think I remember seeing that. You showed that before, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people here who haven't seen it though, but let me see.
Yeah.
Volcano Mall, Italy. Here it is. Call me crazy, but yeah. Don't tell me that volcanoes aren't buildings, because they are, and they build them. They actually build these things. Okay, that one's like a stadium that it's going to over there. Let me close this thing out. Okay, here you go. Look at this. Look at that, guys. That looks just like Vesuvius, but not melted down. Maybe Vesuvius looked like this originally. I don't know, but it was definitely some kind of a tower structure with stuff in it. There's another angle to it, kind of like what's inside it and stuff. Oh, not all that crap though. Hold on. What else? There's another picture I wanted to show you in here. It's a good one. I mean, this is the bare bones of it when they're building it here, which is pretty interesting itself. Seeing the construction of it.
Yeah.
And seeing the inside of it, which looks like kind of like what we see at Ogashima with that lattice work looking stuff inside. But it's all structure. Always was and always will be structure. Okay, so there was that. And let me come off the StreamYard stuff. Okay. So Freya, what do you want me to look up that you might be interested in? Is there anything you want me to pull up?
I've been looking into hey baby. Stuff
With
with
the show Shampoo my shirt if he hasn't seen it.
Nice, yeah. I have been looking into stuff on the Byzantine Empire, just the different artwork and basically trying to figure out where I feel like that could have been right before the millennial reign or right after the millennial reign. The Byzantine, it doesn't really fit as far as the style. You know, it's very, you know what I mean? It's not as beautiful or anatomically accurate. Like they're kind of cartoony and simplified. Anyway, but the story there is very consistent, and I feel like maybe it's, you know, something right before or at the end, retelling at the end. I don't know. I mean, I
definitely think the Byzantine era is a millennial reign era.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, it's amazing the cathedrals that were built in the Dark Ages. Let's look at Dark Ages cathedrals.
Yeah, for sure. The structures are like on point, but a lot of the style of artwork, like the style of the mosaics and the paintings, and that's right before the Hellenistic periods. So they tell us, but the Hellenistic period is like very more Renaissance, Baroque, kind of more realistic and dramatic, you know. Like the Byzantine's very static, and the forms are, you know what I'm talking about if you're familiar with the Byzantine art.
Here is, this is Gothic cathedrals and churches for the Byzantine era, and this is, I think, mostly Europe. So this is the pictures that they're giving us. And this looks like it should have had spires up here.
For sure, yeah.
They took that down or what, but definitely some more stuff there.
Beautiful.
Okay, let this sink in, guys. This is supposed to be during the Dark Ages, the Byzantine era, 500 to 1500 time span that we're talking about. Dark Ages. And they're building this. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And look at this muffed up brick wall down here. Look at this wall here.
Oh, yeah.
It's all muffed up.
I guess what I was trying to say is the artwork specifically, it doesn't match these buildings like this in this Milan. What is this?
I'm not sure which one this one is. It could be, but this
It's incredible. Yeah, incredible. And the sculptures on this too. I forget how many. There's hundreds and hundreds of sculptures on this
on the
building
outside
here.
of it. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That they don't match the Byzantine artwork. That this huge genre of Byzantine artwork, like again the mosaics, the paintings. It doesn't match to me to this. Not to mean that it's not millennial reign, but I don't know. I just get a vibe about the Byzantine stuff that's kind of off.
I could see that. Yeah. Here's some of the statues. I think this is on the inside, though. Again, look at this, guys.
Yeah.
This is just unbelievable. Are you kidding me? During the Dark Ages, they're building this. This looks like something out of heaven. Same here.
Yeah.
There's another one. That's kind of plain and everything, but it's got the tech up top again. You can see it right here. There it is. It's got the bells as well.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it originally had 2 towers.
Yeah.
1140 to 1144. I mean, wow.
4 years.
Yeah, make it make sense, right?
Yeah.
Also, what doesn't match in here is these little rickety wooden chairs they have.
Exactly.
They gotta place stuff in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's our contribution.
Yeah. Okay, this one here as well. Same. It says it's 1153 to 1191. But just look at it. In a time when they're telling us that it was the Dark Ages. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What did I just do? I did something. Let me get back a page. All right. Let's get back to the arrow. That's, I think, another one, or the same one. There's another one. It's a nice one right there. Just absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. Look at this thing here. I mean, come on. Are you kidding me right now? Wow.
They just stand out like a sore thumb. They just smack you in the face,
Exactly. Yeah.
Jeez.
This one's getting refurbished, it looks like a little bit. Just amazing, amazing architecture.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say something about the 1100s. Even 11th, 12th, and 13th century. When you look at India and their narratives for all their temples, they either basically say, we're not sure, but we think it was built in 11th or 12th century, or they stick to the 11th or 12th century and say, yes, it was, but they don't know how they did it.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot going on in this time frame.
Exactly.
Where we think the millennial reign happened. I mean, absolutely amazing, mind-blowing architecture and sculptures and stuff even.
Mm-hmm. But I think even the structures that came after that, the structures we're told were built in the 1600s and 1700s, and the artwork from there was also part of the millennial reign. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
They just shrunk the Dark
dates.
Ages. They told us the Dark Ages was 1,000 years and gave us this timeline. But then, I think all the other stuff would also be part of it. All these other old world structures.
Yep, I agree. This one looks like it's been stripped.
Yeah, it does.
This church has been stripped, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
1147. This is 11th or 12th century here. This looks pretty barren.
Mm-hmm.
My church that I went to, because I went to not Little Flower, it was Holy Innocents grade school. And the church was called Holy Innocents, and it has all this, with these circular things and stuff. This one's all muffed up. 11:32. I don't know what
Yeah,
happened here.
it's in England.
But even still, these are the ruins, right? And
Mhm.
this thing is still standing. They can't
And
get
it's,
rid of it. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
and it's still impressive. It's
Yeah.
still impressive. Yeah, I've been looking at Nottingham Castle as well, and that. Did you see the picture? I'm sure you're familiar. I mean, that's like one of the super famous castle, but there's
Right.
like a whole section where it goes down into all these massive tunnel systems, and it's totally melted on the outside. And there's a certain somebody that does the geopolymer streams. He had
Oh,
showed
God.
that part of Nottingham Palace and went into this whole spiel about meltology, but he had no explanation for why it looked this way.
Right.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
I mean, if you're going to come at meltology and try to discredit the theory that we have about a particular location or whatever, you better have something behind that to back your shit up, okay?
exactly
Just
make
sitting
it.
there
Yeah,
trash talking it is not going to get you anywhere, except for the mindless jackwagons out there who don't need an explanation and don't want to agree with meltology or see it and admit it and deal with God's judgment. So they'll just hop on that bandwagon over there.
Yeah.
And they could stay over there. That's fine with me. There's plenty of other channels out there
For sure.
that do things different and talk different about different things than I do. And that's all you got to do. Just like when you watch TV and you don't like what's on, you change the channel. You don't
Yeah,
sit there and keep watching what's on and pick it apart and talk about how you hate this show and I hate this actor and this over there. They could have done it this way. No.
yeah. Well, basically it's like you can have those opinions, but what's your explanation then? Do you have an explanation that makes more sense? Like I'm open to that.
If you want
You know
to be
what I mean?
that vocal about your disagreement,
Yeah.
then bring something to the table that I could ponder about as well and maybe look at and be like, okay, maybe it is that. But at the end of the day, geopolymer is nothing different than mixing up bricks and firing up bricks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's using a different term to try to throw people off and keep them over there on his bandwagon. I don't know what people's big problem is about the millennial reign or this amazing architecture and the damage that we see on them and around them and everything. I don't know why these people don't get it, but I've so moved on from that.
Yeah.
It used to be like an issue for me, kind of like I would really go out of my way to point out the melt and explain it. Like I don't know how you can't see it, but at this point, I don't got to do that. You know?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people still cling on to different parts of the narrative of the whole story that creates the foundation of our understanding. And so they're trying to make it fit into that. And so, I mean, I think they're not only hiding the millennial reign or what the Bible describes as the millennial reign, but also this massive cataclysm, obviously. And that big, massive cataclysm is what people want to work around, people that are in disagreement with meltology. It's like, well, it wasn't really a cataclysm. It was just, they have all these other explanations that don't make sense. Like, no, they're hiding a cataclysm, like a apocalypse took place and Armageddon took place.
Right. Look at this amazing, it's just amazing. I was into the mudblood stuff. I was into the sleeping giants and the tree stump stuff, but my research has led me beyond that stuff. And now it's taking me to this point. I don't know how some people can, see the mud flood, but yet they're not curious about what caused this cataclysm, what it's a part of, or all this other stuff. I think some of these people think that they're just so smart and they got shit figured out over there on their channel that, we've moved over to the melt now and seeing how that fits in, and they can't get on board because they don't research it. It's like, oh, well, you figured it out before me, and the only thing I could do now is just try to make you look bad.
Just dig their boots in, dig their heels in.
Exactly. And it's just like, we have shown overwhelming evidence, not just on my channel, but a plethora of channels and Facebook groups across the plane, with evidence just mounting. You can't deny it. However, these people find some weird way to still deny it and make sure that they know that their subscribers know that they deny it. And if you're going to hang out on their channel, you better deny it too.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people were apologizing I'm sorry, because somebody made a comment about something looking melted, and then that's it. Anyway,
that's all it takes.
The person was like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it like that. It was like, why are you apologizing? It does look melted. Like, don't apologize.
Yeah, but see, those channels are like, oh, you said melted, you're out.
Yeah, it's like trigger word, big time.
Yeah, like if you say meltology somewhere you're not supposed to, you're out.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the ridiculousness, this immature level of thinking that we're dealing with now. We should not be being divided on stuff. We're trying to come together and figure out what happens. Divide and conquer. Okay.
Yeah.
So who are the people that want to keep things divided? Who are the people that keep things stirred up and shit stirring over here to cause these things of division? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
This is
Yeah.
why I question a lot of people's motives at this point. When I see some shady stuff going on, I start to think, well, they have ulterior motives, because anybody else could just be like, well, let's just agree to disagree. I don't
Yeah.
believe that that's heat damage. To me, that looks like weathering or whatever. But,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, these people are not doing the type of research that we're doing. I'm doing the research to confirm what I'm seeing.
Mhm.
I want to show proof to confirm what I'm seeing. And we go over and above getting that proof and proving our points. Look at this glorious tech on top of this thing. Again, this is during this supposed Gothic Byzantine era. Okay. See these little nodules that stick up out off of these things, right? And we just saw on another cathedral, one or two back in the pictures, had all these little nodules on them, right? It's got the wrought iron up here, like we see even in Louisiana on their buildings there. They have the wrought iron fences and stuff. This is functional as well. I think this wrought iron lit up. And then the nodules, if this thing is covered in gold, these nodules would be covered in gold and some other type of stuff. And I think that this is what we're seeing that would be lit on all these things, in my opinion. This spire here looks like it's got something missing off of it.
Yeah, I agree too. I think the nodules, it's like that's where the spark would so it almost looked like a I imagine it would look something like a, what's the firecracker, the stick that you light? Anyway, that kind of light, where it's like a spark, like a static electricity, spark.
Yeah.
On each of those little nodules, like where it would concentrate.
Yeah, kind of like the St. Elmo's fire when we see the masts of the ships and it's got this stuff. Like, how we line our buildings with lights and stuff nowadays? Their buildings had it built into their structure. And these were self-illuminating, self-sustaining buildings. High-tech, architecture. Chur means bright. When you break down the word architecture, because that's one of the first things I did when I got into all this stuff was breaking down the words and the meanings and the suffix and pronouns and all this stuff. Arc, that's electrical. High tech, it's high tech. And then it's chur, meaning bright, brightly lit. So there you go.
Yep.
Again, here another amazing architecture. 1211 to the 16th century. They're giving this one. I guess they're trying to say it was built in stages, maybe. Which I don't buy those narratives really. Again, look at the vaulted ceilings and how high they are, and then you have these tiny little chairs down here. I mean, it's ridiculous. It really is. I mean, it just keeps going and going and going and going. Whoops. There we go. Again, look at this one here. Wow. Just look at it. Let me see what the date is on this one. 1225 to 1272. Are you kidding me? Wow. It's amazing.
Jeez.
In a time period like that, if we're to buy their narrative of how rudimentary everything was, they didn't have electricity, they didn't have cars, they didn't have communication, right? And they only had horse and buggy and peasants everywhere. I don't know. And you could just happen to bust out this thing. Who was putting the order in to the locations that this stuff had to come in from? I mean, how do you get that out? And then the inlays on the floor as well. The floors are amazing, what they're made out of, the inlays and stuff going on all through these things. I mean, they could have built it to like here. Why did they have to go all the way up here and do this? Exactly. It doesn't make sense. It's like the pyramids. They want us to think that the Egyptians were rudimentary and they didn't have all this stuff or whatever. But yet they built the one thing that looks like the most impossible thing to build at that time frame. But yet there it is, the pyramid. Yeah. It's like, what do we want to do? The hardest thing ever or the easiest? No, what's the hardest? Yeah, we'll do that. No big deal. Now, this is kind of like plain Jane kind of looking here. It's Abbey, it says. However, let me see. It doesn't give me a date for this one. Now, this is more like what you would expect to see, though, for these time periods. It's something that's more plain Jane, kind of average. Modest. Yeah, because it's coming from a modest type of era, although it's still a grand structure on its own. But it's more believable for me if it more looked like this type of structure than what we just looked at and what we're going to continue to look at.
Yeah.
I think this is the inside of this one. Is it the same one here? No, it's a different one. Okay, so this one is 1098, restored to its original form after World War II. There it is, guys. 1098, they built this thing. Look at this. Wow. And it's got the buttresses coming off of it here. This is very interesting, that part of the architecture, how they came up with that. I mean, not they, the Byzantine people, but
it's like at that Matera, Italy, that I've got so many pictures from Matera, but there's freaking buttresses. They're saying it's like this city carved into this limestone landscape, but there's buttresses like holding up the cave.
Yeah. Wow. Make it make sense. So this is 1210 to 1274 that they talk about this one here. This one's in France, this one. It's very beautiful. And then there's this one. What's this one say? It's in Normandy, this one. So, but there's no date on it. I don't see. Just look at this thing. Wow. Unbelievable. Again, so what we're saying here is that these nodules that are sticking up, that is the parts that lit up on this thing. So wherever you see those sticking out, it would be lit up. Just wow.
Gorgeous. What, baby?
Okay, so that's it for that, for the for the Wikipedia on that. I just thought it was so interesting. We're at 2 hours and 11 minutes, and I was going to go maybe just a little bit more and stuff, but I'm going to take a quick break. Are you down with that?
Yeah, I'll have to go at 4.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, that sounds good.
All right, let me get something on here, and we'll go take a quick break. Let's see what I want to play here. All right, guys, we'll be back in 5 minutes.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first. Unfortunately,
Because of you, we're in this mess. Forever you will acquiesce. How you love to be deceived. Whatever they tell you, you believe. Dead of sight, dead of mind. News believer, you are blind. Critical thinker, you are not. Never independent thought. Busting through your paradigm. Hypnotized with pantomime. Regurgitating all you hear. Spread your terror, spread your fear. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boot of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, the cheats know your very soul. To listen to the great deceiver, television watching news believer. It's your mind. All they have to do is ask. Never questioning authority. Blindly following like sheep. Yes sir, no sir, free backs full. You television watching fool. Yeah. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boot of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, the keys know your very soul. Tune into the great receiver, television watching news believer.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. Extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is 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 extremely dangerous to our democracy.
In their world forever locked. Into their world forever boxed. Reality you leave behind. A prisoner of your own mind. Forever you will be deceived. Never ever to be free. Yeah. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boot of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, the keys know your very soul. Tune into the great receiver, television watching news believer. Never your mind to be free. Never your eyes will ever see. Lick the boot of tyranny, begging for your slavery. They who have remote control, the keys know your very soul. Tune into the great receiver, television watching news believer.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 We're back, guys. We are back. Let's check out the comments here. I think I saw that same thing. Yes, Jamie, when they mine the gold, no matter where they find it, if it's alluvial gold, surface gold, or down in the vein, it is always melted. And that goes for copper and silver and everything as well. It's all been X-factored. Mm-hmm. When they show a vein of gold, if you look at pictures of them, it looks like it's melted down over something. Like the gold did not grow off of a crystal, okay? They really don't know where gold comes from. They make up all this weird shit to try to explain it away. But, like I always say, it's like, can you even at this point name one thing that they haven't lied about? I can't.
Yeah, nope.
Even our own bodies and how our bodies really work and stuff and our brains and everything, they don't tell us the truth about it. Doctors are only taught what they're meant to know. Mm-hmm. Dentists are only taught what they're meant to know. And, you pay all that money to go to school for dentistry or to be a doctor and stuff. You're not questioning their narratives. You're there to hone your skills, get a career, and help people, is what they're supposedly doing. They're not told that there's 400 natural cures for the C word. And, but they'll tell you all about, what's it called? What do they do? What do they give you when you have cancer?
Chemo, radiation.
Yeah, the chemo. They'll tell you all about that all day long, because one treatment of that is like super expensive. No, there you go. And it's the most insane and profane way to try to help something that's going on in your body. Like damaging your whole body, but hopefully getting that one thing. But you're gonna get sick, you're gonna lose weight, you're not gonna be able to eat, you're gonna be weak. Mm-hmm. And this could go on for a long time. But okay, we got the cancer though. Oh, and then by the way, it might come back. Yeah. I mean, that's ridiculous. Yeah. But the minute you start talking about the natural remedies for a lot of these dis-eases that we have, because it's a dis-ease. Now, that word for me, growing up with that word, I never thought of it any other way than the way I was saying was disease. And a disease is, chronic, something that you have and you can't get rid of and you have to live with for the rest of your life, or you have to, do maintenance and take medicines and stuff. It's so when you are at ease, okay, like during the millennial reign, they were at ease. They didn't have any dis-ease in their body or in their environment, okay? But we live with dis-ease in our lives in many different forms. And they have us looking at these types of things in a certain perception deception. Like, for instance, how do I want to say this? Let me see. Let me see how I can explain it. Well, like just the way our system works, or like say, the things that they say you can catch, and you have to wear one of these because it's around floating in the air and stuff like that. And what that actually, that word begins with a V. And what they don't talk about, and they never talked about even during those crazy 2 years that they had everybody running around with their heads in the sand, is that bacteria is a real thing, a real danger, and it can really infect you. So, you hear these stories, I have a lung infection, I have a sinus infection, I have, all these different stuff. You're infected by something. Something foreign to your body has entered your body and took up residence. And now you have a dis-ease amongst your ease that you had. All this is being done by design. So when you start to really look at the words that we're using to describe these aspects of what we deal with in this reality, as far as our bodies go, they have us trapped in our language. It's kind of like a spell cast on us. And it's like your scab. Let's say you have a scab on your knee, right? The scab on your knee cannot fall off and then hop back on somebody else's knee and be a scab again. It doesn't work that way. So the whole, the V word and how they tell us that is and what that is and all this stuff, it makes no sense at all. None of it does.
Agreed.
But bacteria is a real thing. And I don't know if anybody's ever looked at like bacteria, different, things like we hear streptococcus and staph infection, all this stuff. When you really look at that under a microscope, they're freaking scary looking.
Yeah.
Look like literally like little freaking demon monsters. So I'll try to see if I can get up some microscopic pictures of these things. But like, again, it's always the unseen enemy that's going to get you. Okay. The C word is going to get you, and another thing I hear about is generational C word. Okay. With women who have issues, with breast area. Well, what's going on in that family? What products are they using? I know when I was growing up, the first product that I used for my underarm deodorant was what my mother was using. And, from there, I figured out what I liked, what worked for me. But it was generally they're the same product, just a different version of that brand or a different smell or some variation very close to it, but a different product all on its own. I never put two and two together. I didn't even realize what goes on with our armpits and why we sweat. What is the purpose of having, and then the odor that we get, of course, as well. And the odor that you're smelling is bacteria. That's the bacteria smell. That's, your sweat or whatever. And of course, all the toxins in our body as well. But when you have generation after generation of using the same products that are out there and stuff, and these products are meant to do more harm than good. Sure, you don't want to sweat and you don't want to stain your shirts and stuff like that. But is that better than, not being healthy? No. But of course, they don't tell you in their wonderful ads that this thing that they're promoting to you and it's awesome, and you should use it and buy it, is going to hurt you somewhere down the road. The FDA approved it. So it's like, who do you trust? Once you realize you can't trust them, and their FDA that approves everything, then you have to go and really break down what's in each product. You're going to stand there for an hour in some of these aisles trying to read everything because that's what it comes to. We live in a world where we are surrounded by poison. The bedding that we sleep on, the blankets that we use, the clothes that we wear, the food that we eat, the air that we breathe, I mean, the water that we drink. It's poison across the, so they're not putting anything out there that's going to better our lives and enhance our health and hopefully help us live longer, not just live longer, but longer and healthier all the way through.
Yeah.
I mean, you're lucky right now if you can find elderly people who are in their 70s that have good quality of life. I mean, most people in their 70s, the doctor's their best friend.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom, she loved her doctor, and I would tell her all the time about doctors and all this stuff. And she's like, she's so nice. I love her. She went, and I'm like, Mom, she doesn't know.
Exactly.
She's not taught what she's not meant to know. She's not looking into all this alternative stuff. If she was, she wouldn't be a doctor anymore. She would be a healer. Okay.
Yeah.
Because doctors just doctor you up enough so you keep coming back. A healer heals you and you're done. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. I'm out.
Yeah.
Let me go live my life now. But they have made a whole industry out of keeping us slow, sick, and dying and profiting off of it. And having us actually go out and choose our poisons to buy, use our hard-earned money that doesn't even amount to anything anymore to buy their poisons that they've approved for us. And, so we have the free will. But if you're only bombarded by the mainstream media and what the FDA has approved, and you're still living in that bubble of a lie, then you won't understand the truth because you still do not understand the lie that you are living under. The world that has been pulled over your eyes to hide you from the truth. Because once you realize the truth, we realize this world's nothing like we thought. And we've been living in the middle of it this whole time. It boggles me that flat earth has been in my face for years and years and years. And I was 45 before I saw the flat earth. I mean, and I thought I was pretty awake at that point. You know what I mean? It was like, I'm always like looking like, what's next? What's the next big thing? And I'm like, holy crap, flat earth. Are you kidding me? I watched 1 or 2 videos and that was it. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even have to do an experiment or look anywhere. Okay. Their proof was enough for me. And I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe I've never seen this before. And that to me in itself is the biggest lie. It's the biggest lie that the rest of their narratives attach to, because everything's attached to the globe model. No matter what we do or where we go, we're still this ball hurtling through ever expanding space. And within that space, there's a lot of unseen enemies that can get us at any time, like a giant asteroid or a big black hole or, a supernova that's exploding. And even though you see it, it's probably already dead and gone. You just happen to be seeing it now with this light fraction, millions of light years and all this bullshit. Some people say to me, well, Jen, isn't it crazy though, how their models though, they seem to work perfectly. They make sense. Well, first off, they make sense because that's the only model you've ever been given. Okay. That's all you got to go by. Secondly, have you ever watched a TV show or a movie where they create each character, each scenario, each situation and control those narratives throughout the movie? It's the same as what they're doing here. I can make up a model, no problem, of like, say, Dungeon Earth. And I can show you how my dungeon Earth lives underground and our atmosphere and how it works. And if that's all you ever knew, you would think you were living in dungeon Earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the point is that they use the authority figure motif to educate us on their narratives. The public school system did not come in and really get kickstarted until the late 1800s. Even into the early 1900s, there were still a lot of people that weren't in school. So they had an open door to our minds to start to anchor in certain narratives. Like in kindergarten, you walk into school, the globe's sitting there waiting for you. They don't spring the globe on you in 8th grade and have you wondering up until 8th grade what it is you're living on. No, they want you to know immediately, as soon as you walk in, this is where we live. And yeah, we already went the whole globe, circumnavigated it. There's nothing new to find. We already found it all. So don't even get curious about that. The whole space thing. I look at it now, and thank God you're homeschooling, because you don't have to deprogram that out of your kids, because your kids are going to have to study it. They're going to have to learn it. They're going to have to regurgitate it out on a test and get a good grade and do these little special projects and art projects on the solar system like I did to further themselves to the next level of lies that they got to live and learn.
Yeah.
And what I would suggest that you do for your children, because they're pretty smart, even though they're really young, you might think, well, they might not understand what I got to explain here, but they need to understand the lie
Mm-hmm.
and why you're showing them something completely different than what they're going to learn over here in school. And when they go hang out with their little friends, their friends might have like Jupiter on their shirt and an astronaut or something. If you look at the clothes section for kids and babies, there's space all over everything.
Oh yeah, it's
Okay.
it's deeply embedded. I mean,
yeah.
the books, the shows. I mean, it's everywhere.
All being done by design, because they know if they capture our mindsets at a very, very, very young age, they could do whatever they want with us.
Yeah, because you don't question. Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, a child isn't gonna wonder why would they scheme and are they lying about that I'm on a spinning ball, all this kind of stuff. They just take for granted because the authority says so. So yeah, they just plant it in at a young age. All the narratives they plant in at a young age. But I mean, I intend to teach my children the narratives, because even if I didn't teach them, they would still learn it from movies and everything else. But yeah, I intend on making a point of saying this is a theory. They don't know. This is a guess,
Yeah,
and
definitely that part there has to definitely be stressed, because even as I was growing up and learning all this stuff, we would hear that there were theories. However, those theories are propagated out to the public as fact.
Yes.
And wherever they can get away with it, like in these little kid books, fun fact about this, and it's all cartoony. Yeah, it's not a fact. It's bullshit.
Exactly.
There's no way that from nothing came a big bang and then there's all this. And we just are just one big accident. And, I mean, everybody at some point in their lives, especially when you get into their 30s and 40s, you start to think to yourself, at some point, everybody goes through this. What the fuck are we doing here? What is this place? And what am I doing working every day for this little bit amount of money and struggle? You know that something's not right.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right.
That is. Yeah, but something's not right. It's in you. Everybody gets it. Some people just shrug it off and be like, it is what it is. I got to go back to work. I don't have time. I can't.
Yeah, life's a bitch and then you die. Yeah.
Live, pay taxes, and die. That's the way it goes. But that's not the way it goes. That's just a trap that they have us looping in. And then, these generations, we do it. We have it done to us, and then we do it to our children and further it. And now you're coming out of the lies and the deception. And you see your children about to go into the lies and deception, and you're like, no, and you're pulling them back. I'm gonna keep their mindsets here, and I'm gonna show them what's right, and I'm also gonna show them the lies that these people are telling everybody. And then you could even show them, like, when if you take them to the ocean, how the water's flat, there's no curve. And then if we were on the ball that they say we are, just like if you look at a basketball, no matter where you hold it, how big or little you are, it doesn't mean if you're a little tiny ant on that basketball, you're going to know you're going over a fucking curve.
Yeah.
And it's not going to look flat anywhere. So it's just, and their globe model has mathematics to it.
It's all math magic. Yeah. That's what I was
going to say. Math magic. And it makes no sense at all. The distances, once I got into the flat earth and got to the curvature part and started really examining the math for that. And then you see like other things that you're looking out and you shouldn't see it. It's 30 miles away or 20 miles away. Exactly. Now that's significant proof that you can see with your eyes, even if it's, they won't talk about it. They won't explain it, or they'll just say it's a mirage or some stupid shit like that. And that's another thing that your children would have to also learn along the way. And it really sucks that because we're in the short season state and we got to teach our kids this stuff. See, in the millennial reign, they probably knew and already knew whatever. And whatever they did learn, they learned the truth. They never had to question anything. They never had to sift through the deception to get to the truth and deprogram their minds that's already saturated with that deception, the perception deception. And wow, I just can't even imagine what the world would be like if we didn't have this deception over us. But the kids will have to learn, the truth and, the lie itself. And then, of course, why the lie, because they have to understand how important these lies are. And your children, I'm sure they're probably learning from you that lies are bad. You don't lie. Okay. Because if you're lying, you're doing something you're not supposed to, and that's why you're lying. If your mom says, did you make your bed today and do what I told you to do in your room? And you guys were already in the car driving to school, and you did, and you're like, yeah, I did it. Well, there's motive there, because you don't want your mom to know that you didn't listen to her, and you're going to get punished for not listening because she's already told you 3 times, clean up your freaking room. It's like this. So we have to let them understand why this big lie is happening. And then, are you still there, Freya?
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, good. You froze up for a second.
Yep. You froze too.
Also, the multitude of lies across the board, it's an overwhelming, daunting task to have to break this down to your children. Okay. Now, my children, it was 2005 when I woke up to 9/11. That was my first step onto the path of truth, was that. Okay. And it was totally by happenstance. This is why I know that God has been leading me to this stuff, because I didn't have somebody say to me, oh, do you know 9/11 was an inside job? Here's the CD. Go check it out. That didn't happen. I wasn't even thinking about 9/11. Nothing at all. I, as I've always been, was fascinated with geological features and geological activity. I wanted to be originally a marine biologist. I was really good in biology and chemistry, and I really wanted to study the ocean. So I was really interested in volcanoes. I like watching them erupt. I like to see the pyroclastic flow, the power behind them and everything. It was just, the whole thing was really interesting to me. And I couldn't sleep one night. Everybody was in bed. My kids were in bed. My husband was in bed 11:30 at night. And, they would give you recommendations down the side when you're looking at videos. And I had already looked at a few videos, not thinking in any way that they're not real or anything. I was not in that mindset at all. I was just fascinated by volcanoes themselves. And bought the whole molten core scenario. And then looking down the sidebar here to see what else I could click on, and then it says 9/11 mysteries. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this in here? Like, I'm like 9/11. Like, what's the mystery? Like, I didn't even thought about 9/11 since it happened. And that was only 4 years after it happened. So it was pretty early on for me. I clicked that video, and I watched it, and it was an hour and a half long. And it literally changed my life. I mean, I certainly wasn't going to bed after that. I watched it another 3-4 times over the course of 24 hours just to absorb it all again. But the first time it was like, they lied.
That's how, 9/11 too for me was the big, like holy shit, the lies. Yeah. And it was in 2002 or 2003. I was in college at SFA. And I literally, I watched, what's it called? Zeitgeist. That's the one that I watched. And it's like a two-part.
Well, let me tell you about Zeitgeist. That was one of the CDs that we had burned because we had a burner, and we would make hundreds of CDs and not asking for any money. This is out of our own pocket. Just go out and hand them out to strangers.
I was doing that too.
Yeah. You know why?
I got in trouble for graffiti. I graffitied the college with 9/11.
Oh my gosh, I used to do that too. I had a big fat marker I took everywhere with me. And then I had stickers and stuff too.
Yeah, I had flyers I'd put on people's car at night in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah. We first did the flyers. We were doing the flyers, and we would go down to the beach at sunset because there's always tons of people down there at Fort Myers Beach at sunset. And I lived really close to the beach. So we'd go down and just hand out flyers. What it was not only did I learn about it that night and had to have my family, my husband and my kids watch it the next day. I was like, you got to watch this. You come home from work. We're going to eat dinner. We're going to all sit down right here and we're going to watch this. And my son was 11, my youngest, and my oldest was 14 at the time. And they got it like that, and they've been on this journey with me ever since. I didn't have to, they kind of like came with me along with all these lies that are unfolding and how, because that was huge. They lied about that. Are you kidding me?
Big. Yeah.
And then it was just like, why are they lying like this? What do they want us to think?
Yeah.
Why do they want us to be part of this deception and buy into their lie? It's got more to do with war, more to do with something else rather than war. And those people over there did this. We got to go get them before they come and get us again. It had a purpose and a function to it. And we were all hoodwinked into it.
Oh, yeah.
Everything that's been put in place since that event happened is still in place. None of it's been taken down, taken away.
Patriot Act and all that.
And then from there, I went right into the Federal Reserve stuff. And then figured out my whole Social Security and my name being in capital letters and that mess. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, not only do you find out that stuff and you study it, when you do find the remedy for it and try to get out of it, like say you say, I don't want to pay my taxes anywhere. They're not legit. It's not something, it's voluntary. And I volunteer not to pay them. Well, you could do that. And you could also try the remedy that goes with it to submit to them, right? But they don't even play by their own rules. Okay, they'll just ignore you, or you'll hear it's worked for somebody over here, but this person it didn't work for.
Mm-hmm.
We went through A for V, which is accepted for value, which means when you get a bill sent to you, you write some certain stuff on it in certain spots, and you return it as like legal tender. It's like you have a $20 bill, and then they send you a bill to your house.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same bills. You just cancel it out and send it back, right? But you have to know what to write on there, where to write it, and what color ink to use. It's unbelievable and diabolical. There are fucking rules on how to get it. Like red ink means blood, black ink means dead, and you have to sign in blue ink on certain things. And they used to use blood really, to
it's like magic
blood or whatever. Anyway, you learn all that stuff. Why your name's in capital letters, that's not even you. You're not a person. You have a person. Okay. What the hell does that mean? I thought I was a person. Oh, that person over there, that person over there, What? Then I didn't know what the difference was between a person and a flesh and blood human being. There's a difference.
Yeah.
But we're trapped in our language and the commonality of it, and how frequently we use this commonality interchangeably, so we don't ever think about what the real meaning is to these words. So when a police officer says to you, "Do you have any drugs or weapons on your person?" What does that mean? On your person? I mean, why don't you just say on me? But he's not talking to you, the flesh and blood human being. He's talking to the all capital names, your person. When they call you to court and you go to pay that ticket or whatever it is, they're not summoning you with your upper and lowercase name. They're summoning your person, the all capital letters. The only thing that can be in their jurisdiction is that capitalized name. This is why we all have them.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking about, well, when did hospitals start? And you have the Knights Templars with the Knights Hospitaliers, where they started hospitals and stuff, but they got people away from the midwives and having babies at home. I understand. Oh, it's messy. It's not sanitary. What if this, whatever. There were so many childbirths that were stillborns back then, or the mother would always die. You'd hear all these horrible things about childbirth. Okay. Yeah, it's painful and it's not easy, but I don't think it was as horrible as they're saying it was.
Yeah.
I think that they got rid of the midwives, the wet nurses, and having the babies at home, or even the doctors coming to your house to take care of you, because that house calls is a thing. People don't even know what that is these days, right? Yes, they did house calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. But once you're into the hospital system and you're having your children there, then that's where the birth certificate comes in. And there's not too many people having a baby at home and not dealing with any doctors at all across the board. Now, if I could do it all over again, that is how I would do it. They wouldn't have got anything, any of these things. They wouldn't have been drinking the Similac and all that crap. I would have breastfed like I should have.
Yeah.
And I would have had more knowledge, which would then be wisdom to raise and properly feed my child to where I am not actually feeding them poison, thinking it's a good thing, and because it's FDA approved and I like the commercial. And the doctor said, yeah, that's a good thing. You give them Similac. If that don't work, try this kind. My son Ryan had colic when he was born. He went on like 3 or 4 different formulas. And it was just crazy. It was like, what's wrong? Why can't he even keep this down? What we found out was that when they suck out the stuff in the baby's mouth and kind of clear out their nose and their passageways so they can start to breathe on their own, they sucked out some stuff, but they also pushed a lot of stuff down into my son's stomach. And that from that point on, it didn't go anywhere. It wasn't able to work its way out on its own or whatever, having this stuff in his stomach. So when he was eating regular food, like the Similac or whatever, he would throw it up really bad. I mean, I'm talking this little tiny baby, projectile fucking vomit coming out and stuff, and colic and all this stuff. Nobody knew what was wrong with him. And then it was like, I don't know how many weeks. It was horrible because we couldn't sleep. I wasn't getting any sleep. And my husband at the time, I left him alone with Ryan for a little while I went to a GNC store to get Humphrey's little gas. It's things called Humphrey's. You give it to your baby for gas or something like that. By the time I got back, he was in tears and my neighbor was at the house. This is how bad my son was crying. It was,
Yeah.
you can tell that he was in extreme pain. There's no way a baby cries like that. I mean, it's the one thing to cry, and then there's a whole nother thing to cry with extreme pain.
Yeah.
The doctors would look at him, and there'd be nothing wrong, and it was always after 5 o'clock at night. Isn't that weird too? And that was one of the main things that I learned about. I'm reading this book, and I'm like, this fucking doctor can't tell me what's wrong with them. I'm losing my mind here. I know there's something wrong with them. And right in this book, it says it usually occurs after 5 p.m. at night. 5 p.m. at night, he'd start crying, and it would last all the way until about 4 or 5 in the morning.
Exactly. Same with my son. And he'd like cry and do like he would arch his back and tense up, and you could tell it was like so painful.
Yes.
Like contort.
Yes. So
I had sleep deprivation. I was hallucinating.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. I'll never want to go through that again. But once he got all this out of his system, he never cried again. It was like the most pleasant baby ever. My grandmom and her 2 sisters which are my great aunts and were Italian. They saw what we were going through, and my grandmom said, pack up the baby and make sure you have enough stuff for a couple of days. I'm taking it with me. I'm like, Grandma, I'm like, there's no way you can handle this. She said, no, Aunt Jerry and Aunt Anna's going to come over, and we're going to take care of this. And I don't know what they did to my child, but they fixed him.
Oh, that's awesome.
She said one of the things they were giving him was chamomile tea.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what my mom always said.
He wound up throwing up all of this brown stuff. Finally came out. Yeah.
Crazy.
And I thought, I'm going to pick him up. Okay. Yeah. He's doing good right now. This is great. Yeah. But, in the back of my head, I'm thinking 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Anything's going to set him off to cry, because we weren't sure exactly what was going on. And no, he never cried. He was so just a great guy. Amazing.
Well, Jen, I hate to interrupt. I got to go pick up my son. Speaking of kids.
Yeah. It's no problem at all, Freya. I had a really good time with you, and I love doing shows with you. We'll definitely do some more when we have time. We'll work it out, and you do what you got to do with your kids, and have a blessed, beautiful day.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenny. It was so fun. Next time, I'm going to have to make sure I'll bring some stuff.
I'm just grateful you're not kneeling on the floor in a garage right now.
Yeah.
You were in a garage last time, right?
Yeah, I was sitting on a paint bucket.
Yeah, you poor thing. You're dedicated.
It wasn't that bad.
I do have a laptop that I'm not using. I haven't used it in a couple of years since I got this one. I was holding it like as a backup just in case. It's a Chromebook. It's nothing fancy, but I could always send that out to you. That might work for you.
Well, I mean, I've got a Dell it's my in-laws, and the problem is I can't get internet at the apartment that I live next door.
Yeah.
And so if I want to get stuff on that laptop, it's a pain in the butt to send it from my iPad or from my phone. I've got plenty of electronic devices. It's just there's an internet shuffle going on.
Right.
So I can only screen share with the Dell.
Right.
And it's kind of janky, so I have to be over here with the internet. I can sometimes hotspot it, but it's not the best. Or I could do that there,
Well, we'll figure something out. We might have to get you like some kind of hotspot thing or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Next time I'll just plan to make time to get stuff on the Dell.
Yeah.
Because even once I have tons of stuff on my phone and on my iPad, but getting it to there, like if I try to email it or I've tried Dropbox, it takes forever.
Yeah.
To get all that stuff on there.
I used to have similar issues with screen sharing. I couldn't screen share a lot of my stuff, or it would just load and load and load. So Steve and I used to do shows all the time, and he had his half of the show to present, and I'd have my half, but I'd have to send everything that I was going to present over to him and let him bring it all up, and then me talk over it and stuff like that. And I'm more than willing to help you out that way. So if you have some stuff or some sites that you want to bring up, or certain pictures or whatever, we'll just do it that way in the future. It's no problem at all.
Okay. I've got so many on my phone. Like to get them all to you, it just I feel like it would be too much.
Right. Well, you just start tapping and send them whatever, and we'll figure it out. And for the next show, we'll look at some stuff. And everybody's saying thank you, and they love the show, and thank you, Freya.
Oh, well, thank you, everybody. Always love talking to you, Jen, and this community is so awesome. So,
well, I love you, girl. I'm going to hang out here for a little bit longer and just maybe go through another tab or something. But definitely we'll get back together and do something soon.
Awesome. I would love that. Yeah, I'll be listening in the car as I'm driving.
All right, girl. Be careful. Have a good day.
All right. You too. Bye, guys.
Bye. All right, guys. Well, that was a lot of fun. Oh, I love having Freya on. I'm scrolling up the chat here, see what's going on. Yeah, law, right? What a concept. So we got 21 people here. It's not bad for the middle of the afternoon. Not bad at all. Yeah, she's very pleasant and very nice and genuine. And I really like that about her, especially in a time where you don't really know who to trust. You don't. You'll know them by their fruits, but sometimes it takes a while for their fruits to show up. Yes, Mel is always awesome. Yes. And, she's got some theories. Sorry, I'll lower my phone. She's got some theories that expand on some of the theories that we have and stuff. And I think that's great. Like I said, we might not always agree on everything. Or, maybe she might see a piece of the puzzle fitting in perfectly over here. And over here, I don't see that piece fitting in right there. But maybe it fits in somewhere. These type of things, it's just what you go through when you're trying to analyze, pick apart, and brainstorm out the truth, because you don't have it and you don't have proof, and you have to surmise a lot of stuff, and you have to basically look at the narrative you're given and try to examine that and pick it apart. And I don't expect everybody to agree with me. I don't expect everybody to appreciate everything that I do here on this channel. I do what I do over here. Whatever channel I'm on at the time, is because I feel that this is what I need to do. This is my purpose. This is what makes me feel good. Like I've accomplished something with my life here, doing this. I feel like I was called to do it, if you will. I know that me clicking on that video back in 2005 was no accident. No accident that I clicked on it at a time in my life when I was past my ex-husband and all that bullshit and ready for that truth. To be able to focus on that truth and really delve into it. And wow, what a ride. What a ride. A lot of rabbit holes in and out all over the place. All right, let me see here. Let me go back to my Odyssey channel, because I think there is something else over here I wanted to share with you guys. I haven't shown in a while. Let me look here. I see a lot of the videos on here that I got strikes for back in the day that I can't show right now. It sucks, but let's see here. Oh, this one was good. I think I can show this one. You guys want to see kayaking into a melted building? Let's see. Put a one in the chat if you want to see kayaking into a melted building. It's a video I put up 3 years ago. I'll wait. I would love to do a show with Johnny Cole. Yeah, absolutely. He's welcome anytime on here. We got a couple of ones coming up. Hold on. Okay. All right. You guys want to see it? That's good. All right. Here we go. Hold on. All right. All righty, guys. Here we go. We're going in. You ready? Oh my gosh, what just happened? Where'd it go? It's over here. Nothing to see here. It's a doorway. Big openings. So that's actually ice hanging off there. It was wintertime when they go in here, pretty cold, and there was ice hanging over there. Okay, now if you stop right there, you can see the janky, weird, muffed up wall right here. So that's telling you right there already that there's structure. It goes around here as well. And whatever this thing is that they're about to kayak into. Yeah, they got the stupid fisheye lens on. I know, guys. I hate that. I don't know why they do that. All right, we're going in. Here we go. Hold on, back a little bit. There we go. So I think that they're saying that this was maybe a mine of some sort. That's what they were showing in the beginning, that thing with the two wheels, like a limestone mine or something like that. I don't know what they try to say this thing is, but clearly it's a muffed up melted building. I wouldn't mind doing something like this. It's one video I had of these people going into a cave. They had a kayak through it. Water coming right out of the side of the wall. Just pouring right out, shooting out. Out of the rock. You see the ice hanging off here? Big things of ice. Wouldn't want that to fall and hit you in the head. Scrolling up a little through this. Oh, at this part here, look at this. Here we go. 1 second, it's coming up. I haven't looked at this video in quite some time. This looks like it was some kind of dome structure, this part here. I mean, look at that, guys. Looks like a dome to me. So yeah, that's pretty much it. They come back out after that. That was a short video. Go back a page. It's 4:28. All right. I am going to drop this link for you guys. It's got some of my old live streams on it that I would do with Steve and stuff. It's like my, what was this? My third channel, I think. Yeah, I had the True Seeker 69, and then I made up a backup channel, which was TTS 69, and those two went, and then I had to bring up the True Seeker 69 original. Then that got taken down. Then I had to go with Domestic Truther. That got taken down. Then I had the True Seeker 69, which just got taken down. And now I had, and then I had another True Seeker 69 because I had changed the name on another channel, and then I have this one. It's a lot. Okay, so anyway, here's the Odyssey channel. Now, when you go to Odyssey, it'll bring you to that one, the True Seeker 69 original. But if you type up in the search bar right here, see this? TTS 69. You'll get my other channel up. Oh, what happened? Hold on. Here we go. Look, I'm on the internet here, guys. All right, so here we are, TTS 69. And go to content. I don't know if this pulled over any live streams at the time or how much I had on this one. Oh, I have some big ones here. Okay, cool. Yep, can't play this here on the internet anymore. Mama Ray's True Seeker. Isn't that nice? Let me see if there's anything here I wanted to show you guys. Plumbing's still working in this building. Here it is. I think this is the one where they go through and you can see the water coming out of the wall, where they're kayaking through it. cave, supposedly. Hopefully it loads. I don't know why. Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go, guys. These are some other people that were kayaking. Again, the water is just pouring right out of the rock, right there. It's because buildings had plumbing in them. Buildings also had statues in them. That's why we find a statue head inside the crater of Vesuvius embedded in the side wall. Look at that. There it is. I think I see another one down here somewhere. Yep, that's it for that one. Let me see what else I got on this page. Maybe that's it. Goes down to there. Okay, so then you could type in Domestic Truther 69. Domestic Truther, one word. 69 on the end of it. And then I come up here, like that one. Let's see. Yeah, I would love to show you this one here, Building or a Mine. You tell me. I can't play that one because there's jackwagon people. This one here, Melted Building, Geronimo's Cave. I can't play this one either because this fucking jackwagon will give me a strike too. But if you look up on YouTube, Geronimo's Cave drone footage, you'll find this. And yeah, wow. Clearly it was a building. Oh, this one here, the Steps of Aragon. King Aragon Steps in France. This is a good one. I can play this. All right, so here they're walking to the steps, and they have to walk around this whole thing here, this whole melted building. You'll see. Everything that they're walking over is all melted before they even get to these steps. And the narrative on the steps is ridiculous. They say that the steps appeared overnight. How does that work? I can't see the chat right now, guys, because I'm on screen share, so my wingman isn't with me today. So you can see all this melt in the water here. This is all muffed up. These are not sedimentary layers. They don't exist. That's another lie. Sorry. The volume one. Let's go up a little further here on this. And you can see all the brick layers through here. It's crazy. This is in France, King Aragon Steps. I'm not sure. Probably around the Mediterranean somewhere. Look at this melt, guys. Look at the mortar lines. See the mortar lines here? These are not sedimentary layers. They're mortar lines. And they're starting to crisscross a little, go and crossbed. They call it crossbedding in geology. All that melt out in the water there, you can see it. It just melted right out in the water. All right, here we go. They're at the steps now. You can tell this is part of a building. I mean, you can tell. The steps are kind of large. They have a larger gate when you go up them. They're steep, kind of. It's like you have to really step up them like they were made for somebody larger. You see how the people are going up the steps? How their legs are having to have a larger gait to them. Look at all this cooked out melted brick right here along this wall. Look at it. This rock curtain here would have came over and covered all this up. It stopped. The rock curtaining didn't go all the way over. I'm just saying. I'm sure they refurbished the steps to a certain point. You got tourists. You can't have people falling and getting hurt on these steps that are melted. I'm sure that they cemented them to a certain point so they could, and put the railing in so people could come and visit here. And when you have people come and visit this location, all your shops and restaurants are going to make money. Just saying. And again, look at the crazy melt right here going up this wall. They're like struggling to get up these steps. Rather large gate. See, this person's coming down real gingerly because they have to step down more. It's just definitely made for a larger person the way these steps are set up. Okay, they're almost at the top. I'm tired just watching them. I'm telling you. It took them like a good 8 minutes to get up here. Even when you think you're at the top, you're still not. Look, it looked like it was right there, but it was. They're still going. Still going. Still going. They're almost there. Oh, finally. Now they're going to get up there and turn around and look over everything, I think. Phew, that was a lot. A lot of work getting up them steps. Yeah, this is the Mediterranean. Yeah, so there's that. So I share that with you guys. Sorry. Okay. Oop. What the hell happened there? All right, let me go over here. What else can I show you guys? I think that's really all. All right, maybe see what else I got. I can't play either one of these. This one I made. You don't have to look very far to find the X Factor. I can't play that one. I would love to play this one, but these jackwagons will give me a strike too. Oh, it's my Lola girl climbing a tree over here. I forgot I had that video on here. Building her mind. This is a really good one as well. The reason I'm pointing these out, guys, is because you can go to these channels yourself and check out these videos and stuff that I put up because YouTube won't let me. And of course, I can't chance it. So this is Salerno, Italy one that we did here. And this video here, oh, hang on a second, guys. I got to answer the phone. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. All right, guys, sorry about that. I knew I wasn't going to be hanging on here too much longer. My husband's done work, so I got to get ready to go get him. I had a great time with you guys tonight, or today, I should say. I'm not used to doing afternoon shows, but I will do more of them, most likely in the future. And thank you for the 24 people that are here and hung out. I hope you took something away from this. And if you didn't get any information to take away, at least you had fun. At the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. It's fun busting the narratives. All right, guys, I love you, and I am out of here. Let it not be said.